Well, howdy, friends and floorheads. It is Thursday night, which means it's time for some Forbidden Lands. Believe it or not, this is episode 40 of Forbidden Lands by Free League. When we last left our four characters deep in the Stone Loom mines, they had just finished encountering a bizarre and dangerous demonic mass. Things looked grim until Osric opened up and landed a few big hits with Rustbite, and Sten unleashed a flurry of arrows, unlike anyone has seen him do before. As they finally stopped to breathe in deep inside the cavern, lit by this bioluminescent moss, they heard a rumble in the walls, indicative of the abyss worm they encountered in their first foray into the mines. This was accompanied by a voice in the walls, in the air, from the floor, from the ceiling, and even in their own heads. A voice that said, "Wait." They know it wasn't Marga, the child's voice. So who was it, or what was it? If it is a threat, can they face it after barely surviving the encounter with a demonic mass? Are they any closer to finding the Bloodstar cloak clasp, which they believe is down here somewhere? We'll find out on the other side of the opening theme.
Broken hearts embrace they came, a band of heroes bold. Stand the hunter versus fair, with tales of glory told. Osric with his mighty blade, Rustbite of demonic hue, and Silver half-elf merchant king. Their journey did ensue. Silver trades and secrets hold a smile upon her face, while Osric swings his fearsome sword in battle's fierce embrace. Through Raven's land they wander in search of ancient stones, to free the land from darkness where evil's a terror roams. With courage as their banner and hearts forever true, they seek the light within the night, their quest for me and you. Sten the hunter tracks the beast with arrows swift and sure. Vasilla sings of battles past, her voice a magic cure. In ancient halls where echoes dwell, they found a mystic sign. The stones of elves, a guiding light, within their hearts align.
So that rumbling sound hits, and you can feel it like in your bones, but it's unsettling, but not nearly as unsettling as that voice. And it's faintly the sound of a woman, but not like that child's voice.
Stan immediately trying to get to anything resembling high ground in this chamber, even if it's just like a little lump of stone that is a little higher than anything else.
I think probably because it kind of has kind of an incline leading back up to where you came from. So if you remember, this cavern is big and empty. It's got that bioluminescent green, and it has a slight downward slant to it. So the closer you get to the entrance, the quote unquote higher you'll be, Sten.
Okay, well, I'll take that for right now.
And is it coming from like a particular direction?
It's right. The voice is omnidirectional, to the point where you're wondering whether you're hearing it with your ears or not, because it feels inside you. And as far as the shifting, you can see pieces of mud and dirt falling on the sides of the caverns. You can feel the ground shifting. So it's very difficult to tell, but it was that same feeling you had when the abyss worm attacked you near the nest of the insectoids. So right now you don't have a sense of if this thing is coming, where it might be coming from.
Um, is there menace or underlying menace at all in the voice?
No, it's almost almost like you're walking away and someone's just going, wait. That's not
Right.
a wait.
Right.
That's
Play
good.
with me.
All right, then I'm going to sit down and hum to myself.
So we see Vasilla sit down. I got a sense of what Sten is doing. What's Osric and Silva doing?
I think Osric is going to move closer to where Vasilla is sitting and keep his head on a swivel, knowing that I want to make sure that I'm covering ground that, like, any ground that Sten would not be covering, if that makes sense.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
I think my weapons are drawn if they weren't already.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Silva's probably also in about the same. She'd probably get closer to Vasilla and give her enough space to do whatever she's doing, but kind of keeping an eye out, like. And I think for our current purposes, she's probably got the trident out
Okay.
instead of Clay's guardian.
So almost from like the back top corner where the ceiling and the far back wall meet, we just see Earth move and get pushed into the room. And coming through it is a easily 15-foot in diameter abyss worm. And if you remember, there are these maggot-like silkworm large monstrosities. They're featureless. Their nose comes to kind of a rounded peak at the front of it. You can see where it kind of uses the silkiness of it goes away by the nose. You can see the nose is used to kind of burrow, right? And that's how it kind of moves around in there. And it slides in, and its weight lands on the ground, and it doesn't fully come out. So it's a good 20 foot of worm has come out of this hole, and it's kerned around with its head facing you, but it's not being menacing at all. But the rest of its body is still in the ground. So it's almost impossible to get a sense of just how long this thing is. But it seems to have so much weight to it that you feel drawn to it. Like it almost has its own gravity. It's pulling the room towards it as it burrows into the cavern. And at any point, obviously, interrupt me, but we see, if you remember, the slits tends to like form on its head. This was the mouth that you saw on the other worm. This worm, by the way, is larger. It's a good 5-10 foot bigger in diameter. That slit opens up again. And Vasilla, it's a good 20 feet away from you. It's facing the four of you, though. And as that slit just kind of peels open and that sticky, silky slime is there as it opens and parts. And before, with the other worm, it was just these rows of needle teeth that you saw. It's not what you see here. What you see is, and it's hard to tell exactly where it's coming from, but a head kind of emerges out of this mouth. And it's slightly larger than like a human head, but it is a person's head. It's a kind of a malformed woman's face. And as she opens her mouth, she has that same silky slime that's there that parts with it. And you hear again, omnidirectional, not from her mouth, but from everywhere in your head, you hear her say, "Why are you here?"
Oh, hello, ma'am. We're looking for a specific stone.
Who sent you?
An elf. by many names.
Vasily, you're close enough. You're close enough to see kind of the almost even micro expressions that's happening on this face, this woman's face that's inside this worm's mouth. And you notice almost sewn to the crown of its head, of her head, there's a pretty thick lock of black hair that looks like it's been patched in. So it's not growing off of her head. She's hairless, but it's like someone took a bundle of black hair and tried to sew it in from the side. And you see her eyes, her colorless eyes, kind of gesture up towards this hair, this bundle of hair sewn into her head. And she goes, "Did he send you?"
Hmm. I honestly don't know if it was a he or her. I've seen them both ways.
"Did he send you?"
If you mean the father of your child, then no.
"You don't work for him?"
No. I hope that he doesn't know we exist, quite frankly.
From what we've best gathered, we do fully oppose his purposes. We seek
In
these
her
relics to
Go ahead.
protect people.
Her head kind of turns towards you now, Silva. She was talking to Vasilla. And you've got these featureless, blank, pupilless eyes that are just burning towards you. And you see this like slime just continue to drip from the top of this thing's mouth onto this woman's head. She says, "You've come for the clasp."
Yes.
"But not for him?"
No. The demons stir again. They eat children. It's not something we are for.
Have you? And then like this, it's like multiple voices, like a chorus. Have you? Have you? Have you met my daughter?
Yes. She's quite the chess player.
She will kill you.
Hmm.
You're in danger.
She's like the thing that was in this room, no?
She has melded with demon like her father. But I can save you if you're not working for him.
Hmm.
Sten, you're noticing, Osric, you're noticing as well. She's slowly inching closer. Not in a threatening way, but
Yet.
you're noticing more of her body coming out of the hole that she came in through.
We're definitely not working for him.
Oh. Could I interest you in tea, ma'am? Do silkworms like tea?
I can save you from her. I've saved them all. And as she says that, you've got kind of a broad view of her body now. The head out of this split open mouth. And suddenly you're seeing more slits start to open along the side of her body. And they slowly just kind of open, almost like their mouths in the same. And other faces come out.
Oh boy.
And as they come out, they're going, and she says, I've saved them all.
They seem very
And
safe.
I can save you.
Hmm.
and there's got to be a dozen different faces, male, female, dwarf, human, elf, just like pressing out of these slits in the side of her body.
If she fused with the demon, what does that make you?
Come here. Let me save you.
I'm gonna put my hand. I guess I have my weapon in my hand, so obviously I'm not gonna drop my weapon, but I'm gonna ensure that like I put my hand in front of Vasila's shoulder to ensure that she does not get up to move.
Yeah, we appreciate the offer, but we have things we need to do outside these mines, which is why we need the clasp. So thanks, but no thanks.
And her head turns up to kind of spot you, Sten. And as that's happening, you're realizing that it's connected to this elongated, weird neck that's coming out of the mouth of this thing. And she's starting to move now. So she is starting to close ground. Not running, not just, but she's headed towards Vasilla, and she's just making these just very bizarre gestures, not making any sounds as she's moving towards Osric and Vasilla.
Okay, the arrow is getting drawn back, and it's like, Vasi, you're gonna do something. Do it now.
Unfortunate. Well, I was hoping that we could be friends. So my mom always said when the teas run dry, it's time to go home. And since we weren't allowed to have tea, it's time to go home.
I
I'll
was so
stand up and
scared.
dust myself off very calmly as I can summon the will to be. And then give her a little bow and start leaving.
Facing her? Are you walking backwards, or are you going to turn your back to her?
I'm going to turn. I'm going to give her a little proper bow, and then I'm going to turn and walk.
Osric?
I think he's going to say, point us to the stone and we'll be out of your way. And I think he's maybe going to take one step backwards, but not turn his back to her.
Sten, the bow is ready?
Yep, it is trained on the little head inside the mouth, but I'm not firing.
Okay. Silva?
I think as things start escalating, she kind of takes a step closer, kind of behind Osric, and again, Triton is in hand, again, kind of using it as a walking stick. Just kind of eyes have not left this monster because.
So if I've got this scene right, I've got Sten, Silva, Osric, stone cold on this thing, not blinking, not taking our eyes off of it. Vasilla has stood up, made her speech, turned her back, and started to walk away, walking towards where Sten is, kind of past where Osric and Silva are. Am I capturing that right? So that means that Vasilla, you see this. Sten, Silva, and Osric hear it. And that is the part of the worm coming through the hallway behind them, kind of just burrowing part of it. And it's not the end of this worm. It's like its side bulged in and is now occupied the hall that led here. And she is just methodically just getting closer and closer. You're seeing more of her just spill out. You're now seeing this white milky slime dripping down the sides of the hole where it's coming out of, and where it's raised slightly off this ground, it's starting to pool under it as it just is moving towards you. And she stopped talking. She's just giving these strains, just these distorted, her jaw unhinges a few times and comes back, and all of these other silent screams are coming from all these other different faces on the side of her.
When the body comes through, I'm going to look back and suppose Marigold was wrong about you. Said you would try to save your child.
Oh.
She's of him, and it almost hurts your ears and it just echoes, and it causes the roof to shake and some of the mud to fall down. Oh, right, kitties.
Uh-oh.
It
It's
is
starting to feel like an
time.
initiative-y thing.
It is time. Let's see.
Starting off
here.
strong.
Well, I was like, she's gonna attack us anyway. Might as well see if I can
yeah,
I can annoy her into giving me something.
I think
Yeah,
she
we got
wants,
some information at least.
I think she definitely wants to save
Seems
you.
upset.
Hmm.
All right, I have put you guys into combat. You want to give me some initiative rolls here?
Are we doing the
Gotcha.
cards
I don't
or
know
the roll
what-
die?
Do it. So go
No,
to the
do the
combat
cards.
tab.
Oh no.
Promise. Dave, there's a
Hold on.
little deck of cards on the one. You're going to drag it
Don't
right off the
ever-
bar.
Don't
Drag
ever
it right
touch
off
it
the
again.
bar, and it will never bother us again.
Do you see the dice when you go to the combat tab?
I do, down the bottom left corner.
Nope. Nope. Go
No,
to
no,
where
no.
the chat is, and where you get your character sheet.
Yeah,
And there's a little 2 swords crossing.
yeah,
Click that, and you should see Vasilla.
yeah, and the little dice next to her.
There
Um,
you go.
There you go.
There
we
we
did
go.
All right.
it. Ooh.
So I have got Vasilla,
Please
Martea,
go for it, Vasilla.
Ostrich, Sten, and Silva. So it's going to be one of you, her, and then 3 of you. So talk to me about any switchies.
Well, so Osric and Silva are the closest to her right now. So I feel like y'all are in the most immediate danger. So maybe one of you should go first.
I was not going
Or-
to let out a war cry.
Okay.
If that's our plan, meta speaking, because my willpower is chunked a bit from the last fight.
I'm sure we won't need any bonuses in this fight.
Exactly. So I can use it, but that means my
Yeah.
not get eaten by a worm.
Yeah, that's going to be problematic for you. I mean, I would kind of vote for Osric going first.
Okay.
Unless Silva has an exciting plan.
All right. So,
I mean, Ostrich, I could do something splashy.
so who's taking?
If you'd like to do something
Vas-
splashy, you're welcome to. I feel like Osric wants to see what this worm is going to try to do first.
Okay.
A bit of
Who's-
an awkward situation.
So
Um,
Silva, are you going to the first slot?
Yeah, go ahead and put me first.
Sounds
All
like
right.
she has a plan.
I
All
really
right,
don't actually.
so have you swap with Vasilla?
Doing it live.
What are we doing?
I mean, honestly, just seeing Ostrich kind of stand ready and prepared, I think. Honestly, I think I'm just gonna hold my actions. Just
Ooh.
let it come for us. I love it, but
That's not
rather just-
splashy.
That's not splashy at all. No, yeah. If you're not gonna do a thing, then I'll.
I mean, I
stab
can do the splashy thing. I was going off your. You wanted to see what it does.
I mean, I'm happy to shoot it before it bites
I'm
it.
gonna need a
This is
decision.
manifesting as Silva kind of looking towards Ostrich and seeing kind of what his.
Someone
face
tell me
is
who's taking the
saying.
first slot.
I'll take the shot. I'm not.
Yeah, let's
I'm
have
not proud.
Sten go.
Sten's not waiting.
Sten's reactive.
All right,
Sten,
hold on
Sten
one second.
is not going to stall out.
Okay, that works for me.
All right, Sten, what shall we
Right.
do here?
We shall
how
shoot
you-
it in the face.
You mentioned trying to shoot at the face of this
Yep.
woman's face. You can do that
Right.
at a -2 if you would like.
-2, you say?
Yes.
Well,
Face of the
maybe
big
I'm.
worm.
Yeah, maybe I'm just feeling cocky from the last fight, but I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
Do that again.
Sharpshooter will offset it, so it's only really a -1, and I've still got the skill die. So let's see what happens. Do I have any other exciting talents I need to deal with here? It's not. Doesn't appear to be armored in any way, so I don't need to worry about that. All right, let's see what happens.
The hide is
Or
really
is it?
thick.
Even on the face?
It looks like this -2 might be me saying you can avoid the armor that way.
Okay.
Like it might be vulnerable there.
Okay. So I could, in theory, if I'm parsing what you're saying correctly, I could just take a regular shot and spend a willpower to avoid the armor for the
That is
same net
correct.
effect. All right, I was thinking so I was assuming the head would be vulnerable, but maybe in a different way. All right, cool. So I will go ahead and spend a willpower to avoid the armor and maybe just hit it someplace soft. Not my best. Haven't had anything yet, but the bow is already a little damaged. I'm not going to push it yet.
Okay, so I will take that 2 damage.
Okay.
So the first arrow flies and goes where?
Probably somewhere in the mouth, maybe not at the head, but someplace that's less armored.
Yep.
And then I will do it again. Oh, let me not forget to I'll make 2-hour rolls at the end here. Because it's on a different
the
10.
second
and
one
I'm
is your
lazy.
freebie for the fast action, right?
Correct. And again, I'll spend a willpower to avoid the armor. That's a little
Very
better.
nice.
That is a little bit better. So arrows start flying from Sten. It flies over your head, Vasilla, past you, Osric and Silva. And we're seeing these arrows go into its mouth. And the worm pulls back, and the head almost gets pulled back with it, right? The head doesn't want to go back, but it gets pulled back into the mouth. And we're seeing just this gyration, this unnatural face being made. We're seeing the other faces pull back into the body again, and these slits start to close. As it's going to go for you, Osric.
Swell.
Don't get saved.
No, I'm pretty sure I can't parry monsters.
No, but you can dodge. Is that what you would like to do?
Would I like to dodge? You know what? I would like to dodge.
Okay, so that'll be your fast action.
And
All right. The giant worm rises into the sky and blocks the sun with its huge mass. There is no sun
It
here.
doesn't work because
Then
we're
it lets his
underground.
body fall onto the adventurers to crush them. Have everyone roll for move. All right, so we're seeing her kind of pull back. We see the body come up, and it comes through the ceiling, and just it collapses in through on everybody, and it's falling. So I need a move roll from everyone to not take the 1 damage.
Great.
Who wants to move first?
I got it.
Moving.
Okay, Silva, that'll be 1 damage as you get hit by this body.
Ow.
That is also Vasilla taking a damage. This is to your
Where's my
strength.
gains? It's on my agility. All right, I'll take a damage on my what?
Strength.
I'm going to use one of my willpower to miss it with my halflingness.
Perfect.
can I assume that Sten doesn't have to do this because he's not within near?
This thing is everywhere now.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay.
huge.
Yeah.
But luckily,
this
Sten did fine.
Yep. Stead, you had no trouble getting out of the way. You saw like the mud weakening above you and some of the
Mhm.
ceiling start to fall, and you saw the body started falling closer to it as to you. So this thing now is everywhere. Just this, it's filled the room. Osric, you're fine as well. You're able to get out in time. Who is going next? I've got Osric, Silva, then Vasilla. Are we keeping that?
That sounds fine.
Okay.
Fine.
So I think Osric is going to start by swinging his Heartscar battle axe at this thing.
That's your slow action.
That will be my slow action, assuming that I can reach it without having to move.
Yep. Oh, trust me, everybody can reach it. Sten
Wow.
is going to be at a -1 because of how close
Ugh.
this thing is.
Ugh.
A good
You
roll.
were not good at battle axes, man.
There's no ones there though, so that's
There are no ones.
good.
Yet.
What the heck? This seems like a good as time as any to push a roll.
So many
Get that
fives.
willpower
so,
back.
Yeah, you take a swing at this thing, and it doesn't even affect it as it hits its hide. You pull back and with a second swing of Heartscar.
Ah, there goes the axe.
Oh no!
And this one lodges in it. Now is that the end of the axe?
That is the final point of damage to the axe.
Aldrich's gonna be pissed.
Oh, he'll never know.
He'll never find out because we're not leaving the mines. Oh, I should
No.
have spent my point.
No damage.
Yeah.
So it hits the hide, it gets absorbed. The axe gets absorbed into it. You try to pull
Oh,
the
no.
axe out, and the handle breaks as the head of this thing is just stuck in one of the folds of the inside of this thing, and you don't see any blood, you don't see anything. It's just lodged inside of this thing's hide.
For my fast action, I'm gonna swing Rust
You've
Bite.
used your fact action to dodge, right?
Oh, you're right. No, because I did, even though the attack was not that kind of attack.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was gonna not be that kind of attack.
Right, right.
You are correct. Then I'm gonna do something else because I have talents that fix this.
Okay.
Quote unquote. Where is that talent? It's got to be one of these. The Path of the Blade? Yes, Path of the Blade, rank 2 is the answer for what I'm going to do. At rank 2, once I have used up all my actions during the round, I can spend a willpower immediately, again, to attack in close combat. So I will spend a willpower to swing with Rust Bite.
The bite.
And this time I will remember to spend one to ignore armor.
Excellent. What does that leave you willpower wise, Osric?
That leaves me at 3.
Okay.
I have Sword
Did you
Fighter.
Get any from that big miss?
I did not, because I did not roll skulls on strength. Which
You did.
You got one. You got one on strength.
One to hard strength.
Oh, then I must have gotten one. So I went up.
Yeah, it'll automatically give it to you
Okay.
on the
Good,
push.
good,
That sounds
Okay,
right. So I have a +1 for Sword Fighter, a -2 for offhand,
Okay.
and I'm assuming that she's a horrible, horrible demon, and I'm going to get a D10 artifact die.
You are definitely going to get the full effect of Rust Bite.
Oh, goody.
Right.
Every what is it? Every accusation is an admission. She's talking about her daughter being a demon.
Hypocrite.
All right, and you spent the willpower so that this is going right into the mouth. It doesn't hit the head, but you do a full 4 damage. It does not get the benefit of any type of armor roll. And this time we see that you kind of cut into that slit, and we see that slit pulled away as Rustbite exits the side of its head. And now we can see this like milky green blood start to gush out of the side of that wound. And now that's dripping down and pooling under it. Silva?
Hooray.
Oh, point of order. Could I have rolled armor for that damage I took?
Could you have rolled armor for that damage you took? Yes, you could have.
I would like to roll armor.
Yep, go ahead and roll.
All right, cool. I
All
have
right,
one less
so let's
damage.
heal
Hooray.
that back one.
Woo!
Lugging all this shit around on your body.
Reduce my hit point there. I guess we're just gonna try to jab at this thing. Probably not do a lot, but it's what we got.
So we have Rustbite exiting. We have Vasilla kind of running away. We've got arrows flying from Sten. You're standing there as Osric swings, and you're coming at it with the trident.
Yeah, so I'm just staying behind Osric and just essentially jabbing over, trying to help as much as I can.
Yep.
Push.
Okay.
Woo! There it is.
Good push.
She's determined. Not that determined.
That's
So,
a lot of armor dice. my friend.
Again, this thing you're puncturing
So
this
much
thing,
armor.
and you know what it looks like when it's hurt. You saw Rustbite tear at its flesh and cause this white pussy green blood to come out of it. But as you're you are stabbing, you are puncturing its hide. But as you're pulling it out, and the hooks on the trident are tough against the hide of this thing, you're not seeing any of that, and it's not reacting whatsoever. Last but not least, Vasilla the Proud.
I am going to turn and face her, and I feel like I'm going to launch into like a song, like a very upstrident, like "We Are Going to Win" kind of like marching tune that you might have heard on like a like a practice field where like guard would
Like a
do
drill
drill.
song almost.
hmm like imagine like Battle of the Republic kind of
Right.
style of a song. Um, and I'm going to spell in willpower and use my rank 2 of the Path of the Hymn and heal the 1 strength damage on Osric.
Very nice.
And then my slow action was used trying to leap out of the way of a worm trying to fall its big ass butt on me.
No, the worm's attack does not take an action. The move does not take an action.
No,
Oh.
the move did not take an action. No.
Mine
Okay,
does.
then-
It wasn't a dodge.
In that case, then I'm going to rack my brains, I guess, to see if I can figure out any other like weaknesses about this creature or anything else I can help with, because it just shrugged off a giant trident stab to its side. I know how strong she is, so I'll not do anything.
Here's what I'm willing to do is if you can give me an insight roll and for every success it'll negate the minus to try to hit the actual woman's head.
Okay.
So it's a -2 to hit the woman's head. You'll negate that for a round for every successful insight you roll. And that's
Okay.
you realizing exactly what you're seeing here.
I'm gonna push that though, because
Okay.
this is like my whole. I have 2 jobs in this party.
Yes.
All right. What do you notice that makes you realize that you can help direct your your fellow 3 travelers here?
I think that the hair is like falling down across like its eyes and it keeps like trying to like get its like face out of the way. And I'm gonna say strafe left, right? Because it's like that's
Got
the
it.
side that she is blinded.
Yep.
essentially.
So anybody wants to target the head, it's going to be a -1 instead of a -2. We're going to the top of the order now. This is your opportunity to change anything. Do we want Sten to go first still?
I think so.
I mean, I'm happy
think
to
I can go
unless
first.
anybody.
I would swap with Sten.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll allow it.
Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is with my fast action, I'm going to switch Rustbite to my main hand.
Got it.
Because -2s are for suckers. And then I think he's going to howl out and say, "This could have been avoided," and then swing this Rustbite again.
I feel like that's Osric's. I'm not even supposed to be here today. We didn't have
right,
to
like,
do this.
Giving me the gem,
We're
right?
trying to be friendly, dang it.
You could have just
I'm a week away from retirement.
No, you refused.
So right fresh off of you slicing with Rustbite, you throw Rustbite to the other hand, and you're taking another upswing.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Are you aiming at her head for the -1?
It just. I'm trying to make it. What we're saying is, if I take a -1, I get to ignore the armor without
You
having to
ignore
spend
the
my
armor.
willpower.
Correct.
Then yes, I will
Okay.
take the -1. It's offset by my +1 of sword fighter, and I will roll this attack. And I will not push that roll because that is the only point.
Did you remember to fix your strength?
I did remember to fix my strength. Unfortunately, we didn't remember to fix Rustbite.
that is 2 damage to her as you slice up and you cut now under its mouth, and you're now seeing Rustbite again slicing in a way that the other weapons don't seem to be, and we're seeing again that green, almost bioluminescent
Easy for you to say.
stuff, goo, just start to pour out from under it as it kind of rears back, being hit by you. That was your slow action.
That was, and now I will spend my willpower in the other direction to swing again.
So you took the back swing, and now we're going with a forward chop. Does that sound
Yep.
like?
We'll leave that at 0. We'll change that to 10. try this one more time.
Getting there.
And that's with the -1.
Correct.
All right, another slice. You are getting blood out of her. We're seeing the body now compress in, so the space that the four of you are working in is getting smaller as her body is becoming the walls. They're slowly encroaching in on you. Ostrich, you're going to be her target again. You have done the most damage to her.
Imagine that. Again?
Or everybody could be the target.
Yeah, so she comes again, and that's this pressing body now. As it's pressing against you, you're going to take 3 damage unless I can have a successful move roll. Who
Boy.
wants to start? That's Vasily. You're able to get out of the way.
It's not 1 for 1. It's just if you make it,
You just need a successful move.
Okay.
That's a success from Sten, Silva,
Ugh.
and Ostrich. What are we doing?
I'm gonna push my roll.
Okay.
This is important.
Also gonna push.
Oh,
Terrible idea,
Not
but
twice.
all right, I'm gonna roll my armor. Oh, poor Silva. I needed one of those. Nope. All right, Silva's down.
does that break you?
Oh,
Oh no.
All right,
my
you
nose.
get
That could be a lot
smashed in the
worse.
face. Yeah, you get smashed in the face
could have been a lot worse.
by this thing.
Oh jeez.
Let's see. I should be able
Give me that.
to give that to you.
I mean, if you can't, that's fine.
There it is. All right. So healing time 4 days. You're -1 to manipulate because you're ugly. And it's non-lethal. So you fall down, Silva, getting just crushed by this body. Ostrich, you also failed, or did you succeed the second one?
I succeeded
push.
on the push.
Okay.
I just took quite a bit of agility damage.
All right. I have got Sten.
Yep. And I think what Sten does to avoid this thing is as it's kind of twirling around and closing in, I think he actually kind of gets up on its back, at
Okay.
least momentarily, and it's going to take the shots from up there.
Gotcha. And if you want just to do, because of how close everything is, just a -1 instead of a -2, but we're not going to have you shooting straight down, right? We're going to have you maybe on its back and going shooting
Right,
at a
but
different
like
part of it.
in a different loop. Yeah,
Got it.
exactly.
Got it. And are you going
Um,
to take the also -1 for its head?
I'm going to keep drawing on willpower because I'm
Okay.
pretty well supplied there, and I don't want any more minuses than I need. So basically, the penalty will offset sharpshooter.
Got it.
So that's just good there.
No, that's not what I meant to do.
Ugh. Well, that's just plain old miss. Which makes me sad.
2 agility banes? No, a bane.
Yeah,
on
I'm
the,
not-
oh, and
I'm-
one on the
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not doing that.
Okay, so the first arrow, you're not missing these shots, right? They're just
It
hitting
just
this
doesn't
high.
hit anything. Yeah.
Yeah, it just is. It's not penetrating. You're really going to have to get in this mouth area in order for these arrows to do any real damage, I think.
Yeah. Let me just see. So looking at the way Path of the Arrow is written,
Throw it in the chat.
it
for me.
actually says when you hit with a ranged attack, you can spend a willpower. So I think from that reading, I wouldn't have spent the willpower for the attack that didn't hit.
This is for which rank?
Rank 1.
Yeah, the key part
Yeah,
is
I'm
when
good
you
with
hit.
that. I'm good with you spending it after.
Okay. All right. So I haven't spent that one yet.
The
Yeah,
same
it
language on
definitely reads
YouTube.
that way.
Yep. And then I will take the second shot and hopefully do better. That's a little better.
That
That's
is
better.
better.
And I will spend the willpower on that one.
All right. Second one goes into the side of this thing's neck, the woman's neck that's kind of elongated and stretched out. And the arrow sticks there, and we see her fully pull her head out of this mouth as it reacts to this arrow, and it is pulling its head back into this mouth, and the arrow's sticking in the corner where Ostrich sliced it. So
Take
this thing is struggling. you're starting to hear these groans and moans coming from these slits, even though the faces aren't coming out. Silva,
Mhm.
right next to where you have fallen, there's a slit opening, and there's this woman's face just looking at you, and your really ugly -1
Wow.
broken nose.
Wow. Unnecessary.
You can
Silva,
still live if you get out of here.
Silva, you are broken. The only thing you can do is kind of crawl away.
You should do that.
Don't worry, I'm
Priscilla.
familiar.
So my song I think is like, even though she's like crushing in, I think it's actually making the song louder in like
Like
everyone's
it.
ears, and like helping like focus it in. And I'm going to spend 2 of willpower to unbreak Silva, and you will
Excellent.
heal 2 points in the attribute that has been reduced to 0.
Ooh,
Nice.
very nice.
And then
We
with
should
my
have had you
fast
two
attack,
swap order.
well, I didn't think we could after we said it at the beginning.
Okay.
Great. With my interpretation of why I didn't
Silva,
do that.
what is it about this song? The fact that you've gotten knocked down, you've had your nose broken, it's distorted against your face, and there's just blood spilling into your mouth. But somehow Vasilis singing is going to inspire you to stand, and I'm not sure why.
I mean, that damn halfling is just so goddamn brave. You know? Like, my face is hurting like a son of a, but like, god damn it, if she isn't, you know what? We're in this. So
Not
just
get knocked down, but I get up again.
starts to push herself up on the trident, like,
You see you climbing the trident like a pole, right? Lifting your body up as you go. I absolutely love it.
I'm just like Mickey in the corner, like, you're a bum, get up.
All right, we're at the top. I still have Ostrich first. Do we want to change that or anything else?
With my fast action, I'm going to get it off the Tizhour. FYI.
Got it.
Sorry, you were gonna what?
I got out the flute.
Oh, good. That'll be
That
great.
sounds
That's just what we need.
Fantastic.
Look, that's the break in
I
case
got-
of emergency button
I mean,
that I
sure,
can
you're
use.
not wrong. You're not wrong.
Oh, I
Yeah, I
about
mean,
to be
Ostrich,
about
if
the
you
order.
feel good,
yeah,
feel
that's
good as I keep going.
and so do I understand correctly that the penalty for skipping armor is now a -2?
Correct. But before I do that, I want to know, does Sten, Silva, Vasilis stay in the same order?
I'm fine.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me.
I
Okay.
think we're good.
Okay. Well, I did get a little willpower from attempting to move in ways that did not work.
So as you're slicing at this head, Ostrich, you're feeling this body pressing up against you. You're running out of elbow room now. You're kind of and it's almost like 2 of the walls are this thing's body and its head, and the back of the cavern is you're slowly getting pushed backwards into this. We're seeing the goo, this blood coming from the arrow and from where you've sliced it a few times in its head. The other arrow sticking in its neck as it's trying to pull itself and retract the head, but the arrow is stopping it from being able to fully pull back.
Cut that head
Ew.
off.
Do Greg.
Yeah, I'm gonna swing with Rustbite again. I am going to. I'm not gonna take the -2.
Okay. You can make the armor decision after you swing.
Right. So I get a +1 for Sword Fighter. The artifact die goes up to a D10, and we're gonna roll a pile of dice.
Huh.
I could wish that hit was on that sword, so I didn't have to roll that die again.
Please do not. Please don't blow up Frostbite.
So yeah, I'm gonna spend the willpower to ignore the armor and go with that 3.
As its head is kind of stuck out, its chin is there. You're getting pushed back and back. You don't have a whole lot of room. You are going to cut her out of this mouth, but I want you to describe it to me.
So I think at this point he's sort of in a bit of a rage, and he's just swinging over and over and over. And I think it's not even purposeful that he gets into that space. And so I think it's more just that one of these loose things just pings off the side of the jaw and keeps cutting through and ends up chopping at that head space more.
So the head rolls out of the mouth and rolls at your feet. And you can tell that this face is made of the same material, the same flesh that this worm has. Most of this worm was touching the ground, so it doesn't fall, but you can feel its weight sink, as this not only has obviously severed the head of this woman, but it has killed the worm as well. And it's laying there, and we just see that green goo coming out the side of her mouth, and her eyes are open, and she's staring right at you, but nothing on her face is moving or anything. She just has that hair kind of patched in, like this lock of hair that's been sewn to her forehead, as she's laying there, just the head just staring up at you, and just the blood, this goo coming out.
And the worm body has also mostly stopped moving.
It's completely stopped moving. The only thing you're getting is some that death row muscle twitching at different parts of the body.
I think Osric is going to swear in some terrible way, because at this point, we're no closer to finding this thing than we were a minute ago.
Yep.
Well, I think we're past one of the things that was going to kill us here.
Silva's just like dabbing at her nose, just like.
So
I'm gonna close the eyes of the face.
If he hadn't mentioned that hair one more time, I would let this go. But no. I think I got to take a closer look at what's going on this head with this hair and this.
It is
like,
peculiar.
Is it literally like she doesn't have hands to sew? What?
As you look closer, Osric, it looks like someone took like a handful of hair, ripped it out of something, and it's like not both ends are loose of this handful of hair, and just at the center of this length, and it's about a foot long, this hair, and it's just been semi like clipped and absorbed into the body of her head, into the flesh of her head.
ew.
Ew is definitely.
It's strange.
All of you hear a giggle in your head, but it's
Son of
fleeting.
a-
It's fleeting, and it goes away.
Hmm.
Don't wanna.
I'll
Gonna do it.
I'll fix your nose.
Thank you.
No, he's.
Actually, I'm going to go. Is there a way out, or are we been like encircled such that
You
like,
are now blocked in, so it's going to take some hacking and some moving to kind of unblock yourself and get this thing's body out of the way.
Honestly, having it in the way is probably the best chance we have of being able to rest up.
Yeah, even the body is still blocking. Part of the body is still blocking the hole it came in from. Like if you were looking for a no exit, no entrance place, you've got one now.
Uh, walls didn't seem to stop Marga before, but
Well, if she wants us, she can come get us, but at least we have time away from everything else.
Yeah.
Why don't we take a 10-minute break so you guys can think about what's next? How's that sound?
sounds good.
We'll be- So in the weirdest turn, somehow you are safer now than maybe you have been at any point in the mines, other than when you were in the forted up area with Milva before. Whatever wants to come in here either has to burrow through, much like she had. But there's nothing coming through where the body is now completely filling the two entrances now into this cavern.
All right. Well,
So one thing I want to do is make sure that I actually go gouge around and find Heartscar and retrieve it. And I will put it
Right.
into my pile of gear.
Yeah, just pull it into your backpack instead of having it equipped.
I don't remember what time of the day we are on to.
You should be able to see it on. Can you not see the calendar on your screen?
It pops up every once in a while, and then I put it down because it's not something I want to see right away.
right.
It's super
But yeah,
appropriate for having
you're in
been
the
underground
first. You're in
for
the
a day and
first
a half.
quarter. We're going to be talking about what we're going to do the second quarter day.
Okay.
Yeah, but just so you know, that calendar when it comes up when you first come in, if you double click the title bar of it, it'll shrink it, make it tiny.
Oh, that's good. to know.
Okay.
Because
Good.
it's just like, in the way when I don't want like time a day.
Right.
And Silva, I marked the calendar and when your nose heals.
So I don't. I mean, it's not like we kind of want to make camp here now, but I feel like a period of rest might do everybody some good.
Yeah, rest would be appreciated.
And you don't need to make camp to rest, so you can rest. It won't stop you from being sleepy later, but it will refill your attributes.
Yeah, and that's I think the important bit now.
Let's do that. And I'll roll my healing up for your nose to cut it in half. I know it's not like super important, but I would take care
I
of you.
still appreciate it. It's good to
Mhm.
take care of these things while they're fresh.
And or not.
Apparently noses, not something I'm great at.
Yeah.
It's that soft cartilage you need to work on.
Yeah.
Right? I kind of want to push it just to make myself willpower, but
Do we need someone to keep watch during this?
You do.
Okay, then I will be happy to do that. Da, 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 da.
I'm going to close my door real quick. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Poor Mickey.
oh, me.
So much love, Craig.
Oh my goodness.
Nah, he spoils those dogs. They're good dogs. But
Hey Jim, do you want another weapon?
I almost pulled out the dagger, but I have not done so yet. I don't know. I don't think you should spend willpower on it at this moment, if that was what you were thinking of doing.
I'm always thinking.
I mean,
that sort of thing.
if you have a surplus of power, I could always restock arrows, but
I
I'm
have
fine
so
now.
much power right now.
So I guess while we're resting, I try to fix her nose. Do I have time to like look at this head, how it was constructed, compared to like my notes or the book of like knowledge?
Yeah, if you want to do a
See if I
little
can figure it
lore
out.
roll with your new fancy book, you sure can.
Yeah, I would like to do that.
I don't see the gear bonus.
No.
How many? What does it give you? An artifact die?
I think so. Gear. Count demons.
It
It doesn't
just says
specify.
a
but
gear
it's
bonus.
a
Does
D6?
it have it in the gear
Your
section?
attribute 2?
Yeah.
Yes. So roll 2d6 for me. Let's see if either of those are a 6.
So the still command is roll 2d6 in this.
Or you can just click the D6 image twice.
Okay, a 1 and a 5. So, but you had a success. If you go and look at this thing, with that one success, it's obviously not its hair.
Actually, hold on. Before you get, I am going to push this because I actually
Yep.
her nose is like whatever. But like knowing about demon is a thing that I need to like do.
Now, keep in mind, you're going to end up taking 1 point off the book because you got a 1 on that
On
double
the
gear
book.
roll.
Yeah.
So no, it's on my wits. Is the
Oh no, it
Well,
is.
well,
on
no,
there.
no, no. When you rolled your other 2d6,
Your 2d6, one was a 1.
2d6 for the book.
oh
one-
I
Ah.
see. Yeah, then I won't. I do
Okay.
not want to rip the book.
Just tear some pages out. It's fine.
Yeah, I don't want to get like
This is
smeared
the
demon
one?
blood on them or whatever. Yeah.
So you look at this thing, you can tell it's not its hair. You can tell it looks like it almost like it absorbed it at some point because it's almost like I said, it's almost like holding it, right? But it's part of the top of this thing's forehead, of her forehead. For that success though, it looks fresh. So it doesn't look brittle like hair that has not been connected to something for a long time. It somehow looks new. It doesn't look like an old lock of hair. But it wasn't cut. So you can see that it was torn out because you have this unevenness at one end of it. Both ends are uneven. Nothing has been cut.
Mhm.
And what doesn't collide or corroborate the identification of the hair not being brittle, of the hair feeling like your hair, if you were to touch your hair right now, is there's no like hair follicles or anything at the end of the hair. So it looks like it's fresh hair that was torn out of something, but the evidence of that happening isn't there.
Hmm.
I think that's all I can give you for the 1 success.
Fair enough. All right. Well, not enough to get me a mystery solved today, but
So we've got a quarter day.
is the
Yeah.
hair like is the hair like healthy otherwise?
Yeah. Yep, and it's not fur.
Scalper. Might win over the daughter if they're so opposed.
Well, I was thinking maybe it is the daughter's hair, like because the daughter was scared of her.
So the only thing I'll tell you, and this is something that Silva noticed, is when she asked you if you were working for him, she looked to the hair.
And Sten will also make sure to point out that when you mentioned Marigal, she said she is of him.
Yeah, I noticed that as well.
Okay, just checking.
I think taking the hair is actually right. I think you're probably right,
I think if it's significant, it's probably
Mhm.
worth keeping some around.
which is disgusting.
A little bit, yes. We can wrap it up at the very least if we need to.
I mean, Sten doesn't mind doing it. He's skinned animals before. If it bothers you, I'll do it.
Yeah, it's like bloody noses and people's guts are, but no. No, it's leave that to you then.
All right. Yeah, Sten will come over and pull out his skinning knife and basically, kind of cut around where it's entering the
Yep.
head, and
Yeah, and as you kind of grip the hair, Sten,
Mhm.
you realize you can't pull it out, right? That this has
Mhm.
been absorbed by the scalp, the flesh of this thing. So you
Mhm.
take it and you kind of skin around it, cut around it, that blood flows, but not like it did when it was alive. It's
Mhm.
remnants of the blood. It's not pumping out as you cut it. You pull the flesh out with it. The flesh very quickly just peels and falls off of it. So what you end up with is this hair, and what you're revealed to see is that there's sections of the hair that are binding it. So whatever this is, someone's taken this hair, pulled it out and used part of it to tie it into like a bundle in the center where this was grafted on.
Okay.
Ew.
Who's going to hold
And-
the hair?
And just to check, there's nothing like in that bundle. It's not like wrapped around a ruby or anything. Okay, just checking.
Wouldn't that be
I mean,
nice?
Not that simple.
I'll stick it in my pouch if unless somebody else particularly wants it.
Okay. I'm not going to create it right now. Just remind me, Brian.
Sure.
I'll have it in there.
What if the pieces of Zertome are what binds his family to him? Like, if this is his hair and the face of his son, like, what would Marga? What of Marga would they have?
No idea.
Doesn't hold much of a consistent form as far as we've seen, so hard to say.
And why make her into a worm? And how did she get here?
Well, if you remember, you guys learned this, I think, from somebody, and I don't remember who, but you guys learned that Marta and Marga fled
Fled, right?
and fled
Mhm.
to the mines, and
But
that
then
was
they would-
that was a couple hundred years ago.
Right. So did they get captured and then turned into a weird ooze girl, maybe, and a silkworm thing?
Could be, I suppose.
And then how did the hair get in? Presumably his hair or something of him. Well,
So I think one of the things Osric is going to do now that we've freed the hair bundle from the head, I think
Liberated the hair.
he's going to take some time and dig a small hole, and he's going to bury that head.
Hmm.
Ever the gentleman.
And perhaps say something to the effect of, hopefully you're free from all his horrors, and just bury just the head, not the. We're obviously not
Yeah.
going to deal with the whole of the worm.
Good
because
lord,
that's
no.
a lot to deal with, but it's sort of a symbolic of her freedom from this
Yeah.
process.
And Craig, it just occurred to me: is this an elven head? I mean, are the ears and the features elven?
So the answer is yes,
Okay.
but also it is probably, I'm not sure whether it be Sten's, the cutting, or the fact that Osric's handling this head. But one or both of you notice there is no skull. So there's not a bone structure to this form. It's all this flesh.
I don't like that.
I also do not like that, but we did say we rested at least at some point. In
So
this
am I hearing that we're doing the second quarter day? We have some resting.
yes.
Yep.
Okay, so let's do
Silva's,
that.
Silva's definitely
got-
gonna rest.
I got a success on the keep watch. So
Oh, you did. Okay, great.
Mhm.
Okay, so Silva takes a rest. Osric takes a rest. We've got Sten staying up this quarter day. He's busy keeping watch. Pretty easy to do.
Mostly keeping a listen.
Yeah, and Priscilla,
I rested.
I
you
feel
did
like
as
it would
well.
be a lot harder to keep watch when you can't see anything but giant worm. But good job, Stan.
All right, so that puts us into 6 o'clock in the late afternoon, early evening, the beginning of the third quarter day.
So we
No torches or anything needed. The you still are getting enough light from this algae.
So now we got to figure out a way to get out.
and then we need a place to stay tonight, or do we want to just the mine? It takes like 3 or 4 hours to walk out of the mine, right? Maybe or
Mhm.
not a full 6, right?
And we still don't have.
Oh,
what
it'll
we
take
can-
if you to get from where you are right now unobstructed. It's going to be more than a quarter day to get out of here.
Got it. There's a billion stairs out. That's fair.
Yeah, it's the
Mhm.
stairs that are.
Tell my knees.
Um,
Well,
the
I mean, if we're
camp
gonna
could have been unobstructed. That was nice. I appreciate that.
if we're gonna camp in the mines tonight, this is probably as good a place as we're gonna find.
From the structure of the mine, Craig, there was a hallway. We came down this way,
Mhm.
but we have not gone the other way down the hall.
Correct. There was a stair leading up that you did not take.
Yeah, I
And
think
if I
that's-
remember, we actually left our camp per se upstairs.
That's true. That's true. All right. Good
Not to
point.
say that we couldn't makeshift something else as
You
a
just wouldn't be able to use the
Okay.
tent for make
that you
camp.
couldn't use those things. I would think.
Yeah, no, you're right. We do have a camp set up. All right. Well, I guess we need to get through this worm.
What? It's Marta's the mother,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
and
Marga is the daughter. Marga.
Marga is the daughter. That's not confusing at all for me.
No, and Milva's the dwarf.
Right.
she's unrelated. We think.
I think
Marigal is the.
Marigal is dull, but makes it super easy.
Do you want me to go through the Z's with you real quick?
Please,
No.
God, no.
No.
Oh, did not want.
Marga, your mother will not trouble you anymore. Please help us find this gem so that we can leave you in peace. And then I think I'll start to approach the side of the worm that is the way back from whence we came, as opposed to like back into the
way out.
way out. Yeah,
Not the way of the worm.
correct.
I mean, all ways are the way of the worm right
Yeah.
now.
You obviously have time to be able to push, hack, and get yourself unblocked here. I want a might roll though, just to see how much time it's going to take.
Is this kind of a one-man job, or is there something?
I
we
think
can
so.
do to assist?
Yeah.
So Silva would help however she can, but oh man,
Cool.
Good, 2 successes.
Oh,
So
Motivated.
Mighty.
yeah, I think that you will not expend the third quarter day. So you'll, before the end of the third quarter, you'd be able to get back to your camp.
Great.
Cool.
So I think we get back to camp. Why don't one of y'all take a snoozer, and then we'll make dinner, and then we'll snooze fourth quarter and do normal. I'll leave you fresh dinner.
So no make camp needed. And if you remember, you're now in that cylindrical, tall room that had the series of stairs that went around it. One entrance led off to where this machine was that's pumping out this water.
But we need to refill that with oil.
You need to oil that thing. So we'll assume that that's being done.
Okay.
I mean, I'm happy to take a nap if you want me to take watch
why don't you
overnight.
take a snoozer, and then I'll take Silva with me up to the machine, and we'll re-oil it.
Get it
And then-
greased up.
So I
Osric
get
can
a-
keep watch here. while
I
you're
keep
snoozing.
watch from Osric, okay?
That makes sense for everyone.
Works for me.
Sure.
But I'm so bad at keeping watch.
I mean, I can keep watch if you want to.
No,
Are
that's
any of the three of you any better?
No, it's not.
I
I
probably.
mean, I could take Osric up to the
Now
machine.
remember,
just
I made this camp, so you get +2.
You get a +2.
Oh, I got a +2. That seems.
Yeah.
I just
I
think
got-
that
I got
two of
great
us should
sight
go together
lines.
to the machine. I guess is my point.
No, I
Oh.
think that makes good sense.
All right,
Look at
cool.
that.
Works
I'm
for me.
great at keeping watch with a campsite.
No, that was all you.
So that if neither Silva or Vasila are doing anything, you still have a quarter day.
Okay.
So is there
Um,
something that either of you want to do with this quarter day?
One, I will take the rod from you, so you can stop getting murderized.
Oh, thank
by
you.
it,
Okay.
Which
Have you
is
take-
agility and wits.
And
Yep.
Yep. So the scepter gives you agility and wet damage.
which I've taken, and then I think that I'm. I don't think that I'm doing anything particularly of like value. I'm probably like into my book still, and I think I make dinner for everyone, and I think, I'm existing, making conversation with Silva about her past, like just kind of like hanging out, doing things.
So let's just do the food rolls. We don't need
Sure.
water rolls because you guys still have that fresh source of water.
Wait, what fresh source of water?
The one that I got, that like pours into here, that it's actively getting shoved out of the place by the
Oh.
machine.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
I'm sure it's healthy.
It's totally-
Seems
It's
to be
not the
fine.
worst thing we've done.
Right. So everybody eats. Let's go to the fourth quarter. Sten awakens.
Mm-hmm.
You gonna keep watch the fourth quarter, Sten?
Seems like the right thing to do.
I'm gonna put the scepter down in the camp within his eyesight, but not like on his human person,
Mhm.
Thank you.
and take my nap and take my
Okay.
snoozer.
And I believe, in order to avoid sleepy, I also need Silva and Osric to sleep. Right?
Yeah,
That hasn't
Silva
happened.
Silva will also like take a full sleep.
Okay. Osric.
I can't go down there by myself.
No, you cannot.
You also don't want to be sleepy. Sleepy bad.
Sleep, old man.
Yes. Fine.
Go down in the morning.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll sleep.
Okay.
Oscar's got like the curious. He's like, I gotta know. I need to know.
Like I'm restless. Is really where I'm at. Like, I could take a day of sleepy. It would be fine.
So, Sten, as you're keeping watch, can you give me kind of an idea of where you are, physically and mentally?
So physically, I think he's up kind of at the top level of the round area, so he can sort of see the hallway that comes in there and kind of get an overview of what's down on the floor of the
Yep.
place. He's got his probably sitting down, got his bow over his knees, and kind of fingering the place where it's a little bit cracked and thinking about how he'd fix it when he has time to do it. Mentally, he's mostly just tired.
Yeah.
He's rested. That's not the problem, but he's tired of being down here and fighting all these horrible things, and he's not done yet, and he's just had enough.
Yeah. So morning comes.
Oh, good.
Osric and Silva and Vasilla are awake, finding Sten kind of perched a good 10 feet above you, sitting on those steps, keeping watch. We'll need to if we want to keep that water pumped out, we're going to need to give that a little bit of attention this morning, which I'll assume you've done.
Mm-hmm.
First question is, do we keep camp or are we breaking it down?
I think we could break it down today.
You think? Because we don't know how much more there is on the other side of those stairs.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I think we'll keep it up just because
We're going to come back through here either way. So.
Right.
we'll come back through one way or the other.
A rest stop before we
Imagine.
make it back to the
And
entrance.
we'll either pack it up because we're done and ready, or we will take a rest here.
Yep.
Brigands will come and take it away.
Maybe.
Any brigands that are brave enough to hang out down here.
They're welcome to the tent.
Yeah.
All right. Well, after we're breakfast teed, oil pumped, we're going back down into the left.
Hooray.
Before we set out, kind of while we're at breakfast or whatever, I think Silva's gonna kind of go. She's getting her bag together, and she reaches in and, well, Osric, it's no heart scar, but perhaps this will occupy your offhand, and she'll hand him just a hand axe.
Oh,
One willpower.
nice. Give me just a second, and I will take care of that. There's Osric. Osric, you should now have a hand axe and your gear. You just need to put it in your backpack.
There you go.
She just keeps everything in there, doesn't she?
She's
right?
got all kinds of
Pretty
nonsense.
All
amazing.
kinds of stuff in there.
Like, I think we should call that one Heart Nick.
I think we should call it Pack Rat.
Yeah, there's not a talent for a third arm, is there?
What's the name of your axe, Hoarder?
The title, it's earned, not given.
Yeah.
So you head back out.
I hate to ask, but who's carrying the scepter?
Me today?
Okay.
At least for the first quarter.
Scepter's picked up. Camp is left there. We head back where we came from, and we passed through that open area that had the fresh air coming in from way up above, if you remember, and you can feel the air coming in. It just smells better in this room. You might take a minute or two just to have it not smell like the mold and the dirt and the soil. I do need a torch roll because we're now away from the campfire.
Out of torches?
I think we were out of torches, or just
Yeah,
about.
I think we were using the lantern.
Yeah.
Which at this point, I will also spend a point of willpower to pull out some lantern oil.
Great.
Refill that bad boy.
And
Unless the stuff we were using for the gears is flammable, which I wouldn't bet on.
nah,
Probably not.
No.
At least not in a
Wait.
useful way. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it going to be the same as usual? Vasilla holding the lantern, Osric right
the-
there, Sten at the rear, Silva. Okay.
Yep.
So you get to back to that intersection. To your right, you can still see parts of this worm that have been carved away, along with part of the side of the soil where the four of you slipped through after Osric opened up enough for you to physically get out of that room. And then to your right, Vasilla, as you take your lantern and shine it up, there's these rough steps that go up a good 10, 15 feet. And then you can see the hallway continues on. From at the bottom of the step, there's really can't see what's beyond just the very top.
Up the stairs.
Stairs.
As you work your way up the stairs, the ceiling seems to be getting a little lower. Silva, you're starting to get a little uncomfortable. You now need to really hunch down. You can't stand up with a straight spine. It winds this hall. It breaks off into small little alcoves here and there where digging had begun but was not continued. You're also seeing these burrowing holes that these insectoids have made, but you're not hearing anything in those holes. But you can tell that there's been a decent amount of this insectoid activity, very similar to the nest that you had found on your first trip down here. You finally come to an area where the hallway continues, and you can see far enough with the lantern, a good 10, 15 away, that it's going to take a sharp turn to the left. But you also see it breaks to the right. It splits. And where that splits, we now see stairs leading down. But we can't see to what.
So left, right, and straight.
Straight and right are your two options. Right takes you down the steps. Straight takes you down and then a sharp left.
Stairs.
I was gonna say maybe we finish this level first, but
All right.
I'm open.
Yeah, I like staying on the same level first and figuring out what's going on up here before we delve any further.
There's a period as you continue on and take that sharp left that there's a couple other sharp rights and sharp lefts. It zigzags a bit, and the quality of the dig and the completion of the dig is getting worse and worse. It's less finished. It's less flat ceilings, and you're finding rounded floors where they have not dug it out completely. But then it goes back again. And after walking a good maybe 200 or 300 yards of zigzags, it goes from bad back to finished, back to stone. And where you finally end up is a dead end. But it's a circular room, a good 15 foot in diameter. And there's a large, maybe 6 foot wide bucket laying on the ground. And it's tied to some sort of pulley system that goes up into the ceiling. And as you kind of look up, you feel and smell fresh air.
Is there any kind of mechanism down here that looked like it could start whatever that pulley's connected to?
Well, one of you, as
So
you're
well.
exploring this, are going to grab one of the ropes of this pulley system and pull down on it.
Mm-hmm.
And with enough effort, it lifts.
We can pull
Is there-
ourselves out of here.
There's no daylight coming out of this.
But it's the same smell of outside that you got at the other room on your way here. So another, some sort of ventilation staff, but this is a wide one. This is a good 10 foot in diameter. And this large barrel that could fit 6 dwarves.
I mean, Osric's strong enough to pull me up in it.
Yeah, but we don't know what's up there.
Hmm.
And so, like, can we see like a hole in the ceiling, or is it like just a wide enough opening that it just sort of goes up?
No, there's room. You can see, you can look up, you can feel the breeze, but you can't see where it goes, right? Your light only, the lantern can only shine so high.
Right. So it's not like a straight shaft to the surface, because we would see daylight up there, presumably.
Depends on how far down you are, right?
We
Well-
also only have one light, so either Scylla can have a light as she goes up, or we can have a light as we pull her up.
Should've
I
stared.
don't
I mean, I'm sure I've got some torches in here somewhere.
I don't know that we need to do that. I think
Worth noting for a later time.
yeah, I
perhaps.
think this might be a last resort exploration, but we've got another area that doesn't involve quite so much pulling up into dark places with full of bug holes.
Fair enough. Is there anything else of note along the walls of this room, or
Only that it's finished, much
Mhm.
like the beginnings of the mines were.
And Craig, this is not. This is below the area that was flooded before.
This is above that area, so the
Okay.
wetness isn't here.
Okay.
This was not underwater.
Okay.
I'm for going down the stairs.
Yeah, I think that may be
Seems
our
like-
best bet.
I think that's our route.
So we turn around. It's a bit of a journey, right? It's a lot of zigzagging, a lot of very tight quarters. We again see the degree of finish degrade until you're almost going through, like walking through tunnels more than you're walking through hallways. Then you see the work of the dwarves had gotten farther along, and you get back to this intersection where now to your left it has a small hallway that then leads to stairs down.
Well, let's
Well.
see if this is where we need to be.
Who has the best insight?
That's pretty good.
4.
6.
Or total.
I have 5
Three all
actually
day.
total.
Okay, so Silva, give me an insight roll, please.
I might
Yeah.
also get insight stuff from having the scepter on me. I know it gives like bonuses.
Oh,
It's
yeah, check.
manipulation, I think.
There's 2 things, one for each stat, but I don't remember what they are.
Here, I can check for you. Hold on.
Oh, I can post it. It's in my thing. There we are. Bam.
Posted.
D12 to manipulation and insight. So
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
So who's holding the scepter? You get to
I'm
roll a
holding
d12.
scepter,
yeah.
So roll
So-
insight and add a d12 artifact die.
I go for it.
and it's D12, right? Is how you make that happen in the.
Yep, just
I-
type
I-
D12 in the.
Well, you also, yeah, you get to add it there. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
2 successes. As you go down through this short hallway, you're at the top of the steps before View Vasily. You're in front. You've got this lantern, and the light is pushing down the stairs, but the stairs push farther than than the lantern can reach. So all you're seeing at the edge of where the light is reaching is just more stair. But air feels a little different. The smell changes at the top of the stair compared to where you were, but you have smelled it before. You've smelled it in the chapel, and you smelled it in the room where the children were in cages. It smells like that mass, which is kind of this decaying, oily smell. And it's coming up from the stair.
Demon. It smells of demon.
Mhm.
So it does.
But I don't know if it's Marga or another like the one we.
Well, either way, I suppose we're going to have to find out. Just get Rustbite out, I suppose.
Yeah, I'll have my weapons drawn at this point.
Okay. So
Alright. Down I go with Osric next to me.
you go down past what you can tell is a water line where the flooding was. So you're now back in an area that seemed to have been submerged by this area. And if that pump gives out, maybe it will flood again. It's a good 30 feet, a good 3 stories worth of stair. And it opens to a pretty large area. That's almost dug like a crater more than a cavern room. It slowly rolls down to the base of this crater, and you see that the room rolls back up again. It gives this room almost like a spherical shape. Where you are standing is now at the end of the stair, but at the edge. And you could kind of slide your butt and slide into this crater. But I don't think you will. Because at the very base of this crater, a good 25 feet from you, is a mass. It's this black, amorphous, oily mass. You see parts of it stretching out from its center into the walls. Before you saw her use this mass as the way to manipulate and play, you saw her use this mass to block an area, and you had to answer a riddle. You fought something like this. All of this looks the same except the center of this mass. There's a figure floating in it. And it's got a bit of a glow. It's the shape of a child. And there's something else, like near the neck, that's kind of got this greenish hue that looks like a stone. You found me.
Hello, child.
I don't hear Mom anymore.
No.
Why did you leave me, brother? Why did you leave Mom? Why did you leave me?
I'll hold the scepter and attempt to channel because you said that you can like kind of feel the stone,
Essence of that stone,
and
the
I'll try to
personality almost of
channel the
stone.
essence of said stone.
As you pull it out, the only thing you feel is it somehow is reaching out to what's in that mass, but reaching out to the other stone. Like you feel it stretching itself without moving. That looks like fun. Why did you leave me, brother? Why did you leave Mom and I here?
Who's your brother, little one?
He's with you.
Algarond?
No, silly. Zerto. He's right behind you.
I will fall for it. Sten will totally kind of look around.
So the only one who's directly behind Vasilla is Osric.
The hair.
I don't have
Ooh.
No,
hair.
Sten
I
has
have
the hair.
hair.
Rust bite.
Sure.
Zertome. You never came for us. I have nobody to play with.
Did your brother send you here?
Ask him.
I'll turn and look at the sword and say,
Well,
"Did you?
Is it going to answer?
Hello, Vikram.
That'd be upsetting.
Did you send him here?"
It's not the sword, silly.
Well, it's a game, right?
Answer her, Zertome.
I think you are confused, child. I'm not Zertome.
I need a manipulation roll from you, Osric.
oh boy.
Do you? Really?
Apparently. Have you been lying to us this whole time, Jim?
Yes,
That's the dark secret.
Has this been
Planned
the
this
grand
from
deception?
episode 3.
I'm sorry. That's right.
He's Zertome swapped with Osric back
Oh
at
my
the castle.
god. Oh my god.
Yeah, so I guess
Mission
I'm-
Impossible, the face comes up.
You know what?
Yeah, there's no great adaptive human talent to use for this either.
What do you don't think?
You
No.
can strength your way out of this one.
Just gonna punch her. Listen, listen, kid, you're clearly mistaken.
Could your brother do this?
Oh hell yeah.
So I'm gonna roll
Brotherhood.
my
As these
2 dice.
conversations are happening, she is constantly moving. We're constantly seeing tendrils come in and out of the walls, and the mass itself is just kind of amorphously just bulging and
Yep.
and get and moving.
All right, I'm rolling my 2 dice. It's not gonna be good.
No more lies. Zartome. No more lies.
Osric?
The child is confused. She's been here a long time.
Do I need to make an insight roll on Osric?
I'm gonna... Man, I really hate to say this, but I kind of want to use my new talent to see if Jim's lying to us.
What is your new talent?
My new talent of Path of Lies, in which I can spend a willpower to discover. I guess he's not an NPC, so rules is written. I can't.
I will allow it.
You will allow it. All right, I'm going to spend a willpower, and the GM must reveal if Osric is lying or not.
But not exactly what he's lying about.
Yep.
He is not the brother.
Okay.
All right, good.
I'm like, I can say this. As far as I know, I'm not.
Silva just has a moment of just like, did I miss something in Amber's
Lloyd's
speak?
long game.
It's like knowing look between like I look at Osric, I look back at the child, I look back at him.
Can I
No,
make,
no.
He
He was back at the peak.
Oh, you mean your brother was big like Osric? A warrior.
He left us here. I found things to play with, Mom and I. And we did. Mom's gone. There's nobody to play with. And you're too late, brother. You're way too late.
Too late. Did your brother put you and your mom here to hide from your dad?
Can I get a manipulation roll from you as well, Vasilla?
And
You're
I
way
get the
better at
D12
this
because
than I
I'm
am.
carrying around the scepter.
Oh, nice.
Right,
And you don't have a broken nose.
And I don't have a broken
Yeah.
nose.
So true.
And it turns out you're actually good at this.
Knock on wood. Right, it is the appearance.
Yeah, it's manipulation.
It is both manipulation and insight. Yep, I thought so. I'm going to push that. The one is on my empathy. That's fine.
Oh, there you go.
Better.
Yeah.
The scepter is whispering advice into your head.
Wow. 4 successes. So let's talk about what we're rolling for here. Why I called for a roll.
Mhm.
I called for a roll for you to keep her talking. Right? Because you are picking up her tone degrading a bit. Less playful, less childlike, more accusatory. Kind of a bit of an anger. But you subside that a bit. When Dad started raising the dead and opening the portals, the 3 of us ran. Here. He left. And you can just tell she's pointing just parts of her towards Osric. He never came back. And I found my friends. I showed them to Mom. And we played. My sister stayed with Dad. More and more I changed. Mom changed. I think it was my friends. Now Mom is gone. He's come back. My father and my sister are closer than ever. So, little one, I blame him for me being here. He told us he was going to come back, and he never did.
Did he say where he was going?
He was going to find us a place to hide.
Did he have the same friends as you?
Oh, I never I met them later.
Would you like to play a game now?
I need friends. I need people to play with.
Hmm.
I need people like me.
I don't know how many people like you there are. You're pretty special.
I'm mad at you. You left. You broke a promise.
I'm sorry he left you. If we can help you find a way out, we'll do it.
You're watching the body of this. I don't want to say the body. You're seeing the shape of this child inside this mass, just rotating and moving and pulsating with it. This gold inlaid green stone around its chest area. And it's moving around. And Osric, you first feel it coming up under and beginning to wrap around your ankle. And you look down and you see this mass is now coming up and starting to wrap itself around where your foot and your ankle are on your right foot.
Well, crap.
You're a liar.
Hmm.
Do you
Thrania lied. Daddy lied. You lie. Mommy lies. Everybody lies.
do you call any of our attention to the fact that she's got you grabbed it?
What does it feel like? Is it cold? Is it warm? Is it
It's wet.
ugh, gross. I think more than he would have said anything, I think he probably would have jolted a bit at its touch. So I expect that Sten and Sten and Vasila would have noticed at least.
And your attempt, Osric, to kind of just pull your leg away as you feel this thing coming up through the cracks of this of the edge of this crater, as you just kind of instinctively kind of lift your foot to kind of pull away, you are rooted. This thing has you rooted to
Now,
this pole.
child, let's not be hasty. Don't do things that you can't take back.
Hmm. Like Fanny, Thoranius?
You let him go. You let him go right now. I've known this man since he was a boy, and he never came from here. You're thinking of someone else. Need initiative.
Womp womp.
Wait, I know how to do this now.
Yeah. I am
Episode 40.
Got it.
figured out
win.
initiative.
3 from Ostrich, a 5 from Vasilla, a 9 from Silva, a 4 from Sten. She gets 2 slots.
Well, that's probably fine.
With a demonic mass, that's cheerful.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she's going to go, then 3 of you, then she's going to go, and 1 of you.
Not seeing the.
I've got Ostrich, Sten, Vasilla, Silva. Do we want to change any of that order before she starts?
Yeah, we're not getting the little horizontal initiative display that we usually
I haven't started
get.
combat yet.
Oh, okay.
Looks fine to me.
I guess who's going to be last? If you're okay being last, Silva, I guess we're good.
Yep.
Vasi, do you have enough for any good singing or?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Then, yeah, I think this is probably as good as we'll get.
All right.
So you feel this tightening around you, Osric. And as it pulls in, as you are making your speech, Sten, you hear this cry start to echo. It's coming from there. It's coming from it in the center of this, and it's bouncing off of these walls, off of this kind of this hole in the ground where it's been sitting. Let's see here.
I was all excited to say that I have advantage against fear attacks, but then I realized that's the other game.
Yeah, that's so I have got a one success, no damage. I do need a fear check from everybody though.
Which
How does that work, Craig?
is
I think it is just. I want to say it is. Ooh, what is it? How? Where's my chat?
Man, we just got initiative, and now we got to
Yeah.
figure out how fear attacks work.
Because it got. Let me just see here. Let me see. Yeah, because it got a success. It has no built-in damage, but God, I'm trying to remember fear. Damn it.
let's see.
Looking at it,
Page
attacks your
112.
wits, typically. A fear attack is rolled with a number of base dice. Each hit rolled causes 1 point of damage to wits. All fear attacks have near range unless stated otherwise. Some fear attacks target a single victim, while others affect everyone.
So it sounds like it's just wits damage. It doesn't look like there's a way to resist that.
Yep. So that's and a
Wits-
wits roll acts like armor.
Sure.
What it says, which I remember now. So I need a wits roll from everybody to avoid the
Okay.
Oh, okay.
1
All
point
right,
of
cool.
damage
Got it. So we're trying to.
from its 1 success.
I'm scared.
You said a wits roll.
Woo!
So Osric, you're unaffected by this, but it rattles the other 3 of you. It's making the back of your skulls vibrate. This shriek that's coming from her, and it's just her just going liar, liar, and it's just just like resonating at the base of your spine. Osric.
Well, Craig. I can I cut at what's trying to hold me, or is it like just on me? Is there
No, there's tentacles everywhere at this point, right? So everybody is within a move of getting to this. You're right there. You don't even have to move. Like you could cut down on her.
Okay. Then I'm going to do that first with my new hand axe
Okay.
with my slow action.
And that is in your primary hand.
That is in my primary hand.
Okay.
We'll roll those dice. And we will
Nope.
live with that roll.
Yep. Don't break another one.
That's me that's going to break if I roll
Well,
that
don't do
again.
that either.
Yeah, that would be not good.
That's a bad plan.
So you cut at this thing, and it pulls back, and it starts to move to reclaim what it was wrapped around. That was your slow action.
That was my slow action. And then I will use Rustbite for my fast action.
At the minus for the offhand.
It'll be a -2 for being in my offhand. I get a +1 for sword fighter. And since she's a demonic mass, I'm going to get a D10 artifact die.
You are.
Ooh, Rustbite showing up.
Strong.
You slice again down as it's trying to come up and reclaim, and Rustbite slices through it, and the tentacle falls to pieces. It bubbles out like mercury, and it just spreads at your feet, and then slowly gets pulled and sucked back into the ground.
I think he's going to be done and say, "Child, reconsider." As this slot moves over to whoever's next.
I think that's it. Her again.
No, it's the
no.
hit. She went
She's
first.
done.
She's after Vasilla.
Oh, right. Okay.
So you're up, Stan.
Well, I know that my buddy Osric is a big believer in letting the bad guys have an opportunity to surrender. But this girl crazy. So I would like to shoot, having been through the thing with the mother. I think I'm going to shoot at the shape of the girl rather than
Okay.
the tentacles or the mass.
And that's far enough away that there's no negativity from being in close quarters.
Okay, cool. Let's see what happens with the first shot. Ugh. I mean, there's no ones on there. I really don't want to break my bow.
Before you do anything,
Mhm.
as a reminder, because you would have learned this in this mass before, that
Mhm.
the arrows are only taking 1 damage. Whether you
Okay,
get,
yeah,
whether
no,
you
you're
get
right.
5 damage or 6 damage or 1 success, it's just going to be
Right.
1.
Yep.
Glad you put
Okay.
that out. I'm like, I wanted to bring it up. I'm like, I feel like that's a little meta for me to know.
No.
All right.
And I think that from Sten's mind, he understands that
Sure.
it's not how
It's
deep
not-
these arrows go.
It's just
Right.
volume at this point.
Yes.
All right. Well, I will take
That
my
was your slow.
second shot.
And using your fast action from your talent.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that is sufficient, I
Yep.
guess.
Again, arrows are coming into it. The voices, the shriek is starting to distort in your minds as you're hearing it. Silva?
Mm-hmm.
Zilla.
I'm going to. So
Vasilla's
which
next,
of
I'm
my
sorry.
companions are the most shook by this?
I think anyone who took damage only took 1, so we all took 1 except Osric.
Yes, that's true. So I was going. So I will say, I will do Silva, Sten, focus, and I'm going to spend 2 willpower and
Okay.
heal 1 damage from each of your wits.
Ooh.
Nice. Thank you.
So fancy.
So
What do
kind
you
of
think
shake-
I'm doing?
you
Focus.
shake him out of the fact that whatever this enemy is surrounding you, right? And it's everywhere. It's coming down from the ceiling. It's just a series of this amorphous, abyss-like tentacles, just coming and attacking each of you.
For my, I don't know how much action it takes me to get out my sling.
That's a
Or-
fast action.
Okay. But I need that to dodge too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
unless you have a fast footwork, which I don't
I
think
do
you've
not.
taken
All right,
yet.
so I'm going to continue to play defensively then, and not worry about pinging away.
Okay.
Craig, just for reference, did it react any differently from being shot in the girl part than the tentacle
It
part?
did not.
Okay.
I didn't like your wording, but
I mean, deal with it. I don't like the look of that.
An unfortunate adventurer is assaulted by the severe tentacles that attempt to lift her up to the demonic mass in the ceiling, where a hole is forming. The victim suffers an attack with 10 base dice. The weapon damage 1 blunt force. On a hit, the adventurer is grappled and drawn into the demonic mass. The victim must roll for endurance every round, with a failure meaning 1 point of damage to agility. Ostrich, you are out of actions. So
It was in fact out of actions.
it comes from above and below, and it presses up, grabbing each of your wrists and your ankles, and it draws you into its mass. You see Ostrich pulled in. Go ahead. You want to try to dodge?
No, I can't dodge. I do have armor to attempt to avoid the 1 blunt force damage.
It is blunt, so go for it. It'll be two blunt damage.
So I will roll my armor. I'll lose another point of armor. Right, because I got a bane and nothing and didn't block anything. So
Does that happen if you don't push?
you can't push armor.
Can't
rolls.
push armor.
Yeah.
Just rolling the bane is an armor failure.
Hmm.
So Ostrich, when you come around, I'm going to need an endurance roll from you. So you now have Ostrich pulled into this mass. Ostrich, as you're getting pulled into this, you're seeing that this shape is just a shape. It's not a thing, right? There's not a girl inside of here.
Mhm.
It's forming the shape of a girl. But you do see this ornate gold tree setting and a yellow or a green gem in a similar shape to the one that's in the scepter, inlaid in here as well. Silva, he's been pulled in.
Oh man.
The three of you are on the edge of this crater. Ostrich's been pulled into her mass.
Think I'm gonna kind of try to jab with my trident at kind of near, but trying not to hit Ostrich, but try to hit like some of the
Ostrich is
mass away from him.
Ostrich is out of your reach at this point.
Okay.
He has been pulled into the center of this room, into the
Oh,
center of
gotcha.
this mass.
Yeah, well, I will just swing on in then. Try to cut my way through eventually. Bonuses. Hey-ya. That is sufficient.
Yeah, and she draws back from where you hit her, pulls her back up into the ceiling.
I screamed, "Let him go! He's not who you think he is."
Back at the top, do we want to change the order?
The only thing I'm thinking is, do we want Osric maybe to go last, so we have more time to start
to
getting him
freebie?
out before? Yeah.
That makes
I
sense.
think that makes good sense.
So you can, you can.
He's almost
swap any of
theoretically
us up there,
safe
yeah.
inside the monster.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah,
And-
until
and
he runs out of air.
Let's keep track, because you will free him with 10 points of damage. So
Right.
we're
Cool.
1 of 10
Sounds good.
based on what's
Is that
I guess
specific
just
to
swap the
the,
two of us.
the cocoon, or is
no,
it
it's just the
10 to
mass.
to the whole of the
attributed
thing?
to the mass.
Okay.
Where did Silva go?
What do you mean?
I'm not seeing her in the. Oh, I'm just too small. And never mind. You're good. Carry on.
Anyway, yeah, we can put. I guess we put him at the end.
Yeah,
There we go.
swap
Okay.
Osric and
Oh.
Silva. Yeah.
Ostrich and Silva.
And if Silva doesn't want to go first, you guys can shuffle the rest
Sure.
of the way.
I
But
think realistically it doesn't matter that much.
Not really.
Okay with
Yeah.
going.
So we've got Silva we've got Silva went. So Marga's gonna. No, Marga just went.
She
Marga
went
hasn't gone yet.
7. Silvo.
I
Silvo
just went, so it's back to
gathered
the top
9.
with
Got
Marga.
it.
So
Yeah.
there's
I'm
that
sorry.
one,
So
yeah.
he gets another attack. That's correct.
Yep.
Yep.
Again, with that,
Oh.
she's screaming now. She's screaming in your ears. You can feel it. I need another wits.
And
Which roll?
I'm just looking at what's in the chat. It looks like we don't normally get that wits roll to resist fear checks. It's like a special talent.
Okay. Is
So
that,
I think
is
we
that what it
just
reads for
take the
fear?
damage. Yeah.
Jesus.
Oh.
So so the first roll doesn't hurt us because now she rolled 3 and got 2.
Yeah, she needs 2 successes, is what it looks like, at least according to what's
Gotcha.
happening in the system right now.
Okay.
So everybody
Mhm.
just take the 1 wits damage because you didn't
Right.
take the wits damage before. I'm with it.
Okay. I'm not
And
yet.
I owe you an action, Vasilla, as a result.
Right,
You
and
wouldn't have
you
done
get
that
your
heal.
get your
So you-
willpower back.
You get to do
I would have had taken my
Fling out.
right.
and then I wouldn't need to spend my willpower before because you weren't
Correct.
hurt. So I would have just swung my sling because we just need to get damage down.
Okay, why don't you do a quick
Does it make sense? As like
do a quick sling roll.
It's a retcon.
This time we're taking 2, is that right?
I get 1.
Oh, we're taking 1 this time.
Because I didn't take 1 last time.
So you're just taking the 1 this time.
And we took 2.
Oh no, you're taking
this
2,
time,
Ostrich. You're correct. Ostrich is taking 2.
and I'm also taking 2, right? Because everyone took 2 this time.
Right, we're
Everyone
all
takes 2 except for the ones that took 1 the last time. You need to take 1 more.
Correct. Yes, yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so I did
So we're
1
taking
point
a
of damage with
total.
my
I
last
got
round
it.
attack.
Yeah, so you're 2 of 10. Let's remember that.
Okay.
And then
Now
she
we're
just
at
did
Silva.
it's at 1. Now it's Silva's. Yeah, we're all caught up.
We're caught. Sorry about that. I need to play more games.
Clearly.
So
Yeah,
what are we
keeping
doing?
more different rule systems in your head always
Right.
helps.
That'll keep you straight. Yeah, let's just keep
So you
chopping.
hear this screeching of liar, liar, just screeching in your ears. Osric is just bound inside it next to this form of a little girl.
Go.
Tentacles are everywhere. You stab at it. It's pulling back. It's reacting. We're at 3 of 10.
I visualize
That's
this
your
little
slow
girl just,
action.
like, screaming in his face.
No
Saving your
fast
fast?
action. Yeah, saving it.
Sten?
I'm gonna keep shooting.
Okay.
Okay, take that.
3 of 10.
That was 4 actually,
4. Okay.
and that's 5.
Okay, that's 5 of 10. So arrows are flying. You're hurting it. It's reacting as you're firing at it, but in the same way as that last demonic mass, it's just not as effective as shooting that worm.
Yeah.
Or anything else that you have fought down here. The room seems to be alive now. It's just moving. Tentacles are withdrawing. They're coming out, reaching for everybody. Priscilla.
Now I'm going to use my 2 willpower and heal the fear damage from
Ew.
Silva and.
So is it
Can
one,
Osric hear me
one on
still?
each?
So like.
I will allow Osric to hear you, yes.
All right, so I only have 2 willpower, so I'm going to go with Osric and Sten because they're our best fighters.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay, and it heals 1.
One from each of you.
Got it. Thank you. Oops.
Yep.
No, not that way.
So
And then
the
I will
cry-
save my fast action to try to dodge
Yeah.
if you punch
So the
me.
cries from Vasilla are causing you to kind of ignore the screaming a little bit better as we're coming through. Her voice is getting less childlike as we're going. It's getting more scratched and distorted in your head. This is for you, my friend Sten. Number of tentacles equal to half the number of adventurers rounded up. So this is 2 tentacles swoop down from the mass in the ceiling and attempt to squeeze the life out of 1 adventurer each. So we're going to do Silva and Sten. Perform an attack on each of them with 7 base dice and weapon damage 1 blunt force. This will be 2 damage for both of you.
All right, I would like to dodge because I
You may
have fast
dodge.
footwork and
I
make
would
a free dodge.
Also like to dodge. Can I dodge?
You can dodge.
I would love
Yours
to
is not
dodge.
free though.
Yeah, that's
Way to
fine.
Save that fast action.
I'm not going to go to the ground.
I am because I don't have a lot of options.
Very nice, Sten. Oh,
Hey, there we are. I'm on the ground,
He's-
but I'm fine.
as these tentacles are starting to form and coming from the walls, the two of you are just moving and dancing. You bump into each other, but you're
It's like,
able
nope.
to avoid this. That was huge.
So Silva just drops. Like, nope.
Drops like it's hot.
I think Sten almost like trips over her and is thus not where the tentacle's expecting him to be.
Yeah. I need an endurance roll.
All right, there's my endurance roll.
Hey.
Cool.
Little big guy.
You do not
Can-
take damage. You are grappled.
Can I attempt to break free?
They're going to
Yes.
need 10 damage is the only way to get you out.
Because
We're at 5.
when grappled, normally that's what I can do. But
That's
this
correct.
is a monster grappling
That
me,
is
so I
not the
probably
case
cannot.
here. All right, we're at the top of the order. Again, we can reset.
So does he not get to attack or bite or kick or anything?
Mhm.
He
Yeah,
just
but
has
when
to
you
make
are
an endurance
grappled,
roll
the
and try
only
to
thing
get
you
out.
can do is break free, but I don't believe I'm allowed to break free.
Got it.
Do we want to change the order?
I
I think
don't
it's
know
fine.
that we need
What
to.
are we
yeah.
at right now?
5. We're halfway there.
Living on a
Huh.
prayer.
Right now, it's just going to be a volume of attacks.
I don't
Good.
think we're gonna get over the hump without all three of you going anyway. So
Yeah.
Vasilla, this is you. One of the adventurers with near distance is covered in slime from the demonic mass. This counts as a fear attack with 6 base dice. The adventurer gets a -2 penalty to move for the remainder of the battle. No damage, but you were at -2
I've been slimed.
to
She
move.
slimed you.
The same way it did to Osric, right? She just dumps part of her body on you, and you're just covered, and it smells of decay, and it's just dripping off of your body. You're at a -2 move.
Blah.
Silva,
I'm gonna stand back up and stabby stab.
okay. So your fast action is standing up,
Yep.
and a slow action to hit it with the trident.
Gotta free my man Osric.
Yeah.
Here it is.
There's 6.
It is enough.
I'm doing my part.
And I helped.
Sten,
All
double
right.
arrows.
Shot number 1. Man, that would have been a great shot if it cared.
And
solid one.
Yeah. And then here.
arrows are flying.
Puts us at 8.
That puts you at 8. We need 2 more damage in order for her to release Osric. Priscilla.
Oh,
Well, I guess I will shoot a slingstone at it.
Uh-oh.
So you pull the sting, pull back, firing into the mass
Mhm.
with a stone. Very nice. You guys
I
need
keep
one
forgetting my
more to
+1
release
comes on.
Osric.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's going to be 2 more attacks.
next time
2
around.
more attacks from the bad guy before. Ugh.
Yeah, I unfortunately have no way to like use a fast action. To,
Right.
like,
So, of course,
No,
we
keep the
probably
dodge.
Priscilla and I don't do that.
Silva was the last one to harm her. No, Sten was. So this is going to be
I
against...
just.
I
hit her.
think
Oh,
technically
no.
Vasilla was,
Vasilla
yeah.
was the last one to harm her. So this is going to be against Vasilla.
Oh, good. More slime.
You're a negative. Let's put you a -4 move, Vasilla, as you're just
Oh,
getting
no.
slimed left or right. It's just dumping herself on you, trying to bury you in her body. And it's
Ugh.
collecting at your feet and just squeezing at you and making
Ew.
you immobile.
So much ew.
Indeed.
I don't
I
like
will
doing
roll
that
an endurance
slime.
roll.
Can I have an endurance roll, please, Osric?
Yes.
Okay. I was just like, I'm fine. This is
Stay
fine.
strong, brother.
Everything's Fine.
Totally fine. We should probably consider moving me up in the order.
Yeah, I agree.
With
All
that.
right.
Probably
What do-
Sten, Osric, and then
That seems
You're
like a
Vasilla.
good call.
All right, so if I'm hearing this correctly, I'm going to swap Sten and Silva real quick. And then we're going to swap Silva and Osric. Did I hear that right?
yeah, that makes sense to me.
No, put me last. Put me last.
Okay, and then
Okay.
we're going to do
Then
Vasilla.
Silva
Silva.
and Vasilla.
Got it.
Why don't we do Sten me then, Osric, just in case Sten
I have
somehow
two
doesn't.
shots.
I know you do. I'm just saying,
Okay. All right.
just
okay,
in
fine.
case,
That's
let's
fair.
have that extra attack
Sure.
to try to get our boy free.
Swap Sylvan, Osric, it's fine.
I believe in you. However, this is Forbidden Lands.
Trust but verify is
Yeah.
what I'm hearing.
Measure twice, cut Osric free once.
Sten?
Oh, right, that's me.
No, another monster attack, right?
Yeah, she does go
This is top of the
first.
order. Not to be that guy, but
No,
Yeah,
that's right.
The rules, yeah. Because
It
Osric
was,
was
the
last.
rules.
it was slime, then it was Osric. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right.
Yep.
All right. This is still you, Vasilla.
everybody. Oh,
It
good.
is everybody. It is everybody, but for no damage.
Okay.
So we
Very
feel that
upsetting.
shriek, that yelling, that screaming. Sten,
Shut
Let
up already.
him the hell out!
we would like a success here, please.
I know we would,
See what I said?
but for drama purposes, I'm waiting till my
Great.
second shot.
Yeah, especially with the two banes on the short bow.
Yeah, exactly.
Yikes.
Oh
Oh, they were on the short bow.
Both of them. Yep.
Snap in half. Yep.
There it is. The second shot.
So that second shot, we see Osric released out, and Osric, you fall into this crater. You're still at the base of this crater where this mass is, but it's couldn't hold you anymore. It just lets go and releases you, and you're there, and you're covered, and it's in your mouth, and it's moving and living all around you. But you are free.
Who's
Silva?
I mean, would it be possible, especially now that Osric's free, to try to hit or move the gem that's floating?
There's no way you're getting to this gem.
No way. Okay, it's that deep. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's just swing a trident then.
Okay. So you start to stab at it.
There it is. Sufficient.
Osric.
Am I prone? Do I have to stand up?
You are prone.
Okay. Then I will stand up,
Take your fast to stand.
and then I will swing Rust Bite at.
Swear
Am
if
I-
he just grabs him again.
Would that be something? At the mainish body, sort of in that general vicinity of
Yep.
the gem, because I assume I'm now a lot.
You are
closer
right
than I
there.
was before.
Yeah, and you're to the point where your feet have to keep walking backwards to not get slid back into this thing.
Great. And I think he's just gonna holler out and just begin hacking away,
This would be a good this would be a good time for a good roll.
wouldn't it?
Where we got a bane.
Where's that thing?
Bane on strength.
On strength.
Bane on strength. I'm going to spend a willpower to swing again, though.
Ah,
Ooh, yes.
That works.
I believe that's the correct choice, at least.
That's our guy.
so a cut and a chop. So what was the total damage? It was 2 damage, 3 minus 1.
And second swing.
Sorry, where's the -1 from?
She automatically
But
applies
you can only
-1
take 1
D4.
damage, but so the
Oh,
base
but
damage,
Frostbite is special. Yeah. Got it.
right? Its base damage is 2. So I rolled that down to 1, and then
Mhm.
the additional damage is coming from its demonic
Got it.
nature.
Got it.
Really?
Be another damage.
I'm gonna push this roll.
Okay.
Drama.
Yes.
No, no!
Oh! It's a lot of damage, though.
No!
A lot of damage, though.
Does that break Rustbite?
It sure does. Yeah, that could be real bad. Real bad.
Holy smithereens.
Drama.
So a total of 4 damage.
Total of 4 damage.
You slice Rustbite. And as it's going through the center of this mass, which is where you targeted, Rustbite hits this form in the center of it. And it cuts it. It cuts the form. We see the form separate. Where you've cut this childlike form in the center of this demonic mass in half. But as you pull Rustbite out, you realize that half of Rustbite is left inside of this mass. And we see it collapse and withdraw in the cracks. We hear her yelling, just get farther away. And there's puddles of her everywhere. We see her dripping down the sides of the walls with no agency. And at your feet is this ornate gold tree inlay, and in the center of it is this green gem.
Is it over?
Gods, I hope so. Let's get out of here.
I'm sorry, lass. You should have just given it to us.
What happens when you break something with Rustbite?
Oh yeah, I take a point of damage.
The wits, right? Empathy damage?
Empathy damage. So I've taken a point of empathy damage.
Are you taking the other part of Rustbite with you?
Yes.
Okay. And you are picking up this clasp?
That's a great question.
If he hesitates, I would consider picking it up, especially if you're going to go collect Rustbite.
Mm-hmm.
I think Silva definitely is curious. So if no one stops her, she would pick it up.
I I'm full of things is my real problem. I have a
Mhm.
lot of things on my person.
You tell me
Like-
this little piece of jewelry is too heavy for the mighty
Exactly, exactly. Is where I'm at.
He's
but-
so hefty.
But I do think that as he collects these things, he's going to pick up this thing,
Okay.
this gem that we've, dealt with all of this
Uh,
horrible nonsense to get through the 3 trips to the mine, the loss of dwarves, the find of dwarves, all of these things. So he is going to pick it up.
Okay. I have it in your backpack.
Fantastic.
I'm going to take the scepter out of my backpack, or I guess I was holding it, and I'm going to shove it at Sylvan and say, "I'm done with stupid elves." And then I just shove it at her, and I walk back up the stairs.
Silva doesn't even respond to that. She just kind of takes it and stuffs it in the backpack.
Take that
and-
agility and wits damage for me, Silva.
Yep, you got it.
Oster, because you're holding this and putting this clasp in your pack. You feel a sense of greater awareness around you. You feel like I see everything right now. I know exactly where this was. I know exactly how deep in the ground I am. I know how I have a sense of how far is it. It's 232 steps from here back to camp.
Hmm.
You feel from this stone a sense of vision and contemplation. And for some reason, if you get a sense of caring. It can't talk to you. In the same way when you hold that scepter, if you've ever held that scepter, that it seems to communicate with you, so does this thing. But it's got a different feeling. And as everybody's kind of retreating back to the door, Ostrich, you need to climb to get out of this crater.
Mm-hmm.
And as you start to climb, feeling comes about you to push. You don't know why you have that feeling, and you don't know what you're pushing. And I think people watching you notice it before you realize what's happening. You begin to float out of this crater.
Oh no.
And it takes you a minute
Flying
to
is a
realize that
terrible
you
thing.
are not touching anything. And you just lightly set down at the top of this crater. And it felt so normal, so natural.
Disagree.
And you realize how it makes you suddenly go, holy shit. But it's their faces that make you realize something extraordinary just happened.
Right.
It doesn't register to you until you see their reaction.
Wow.
Rick?
I feel like he's got another swear in him, like Horn's hand. What was that?
You tell me you did it.
I think you know.
Elves. It's stupid
Damn
freaking
elves.
elves.
I resent that remark. I understand, but I slightly resent that.
Oh. Just be careful that one doesn't steal your soul or some shit.
Mm.
Sylvie, you've got the scepter. And as Osric is getting closer to you, the sadness that has always surrounded this scepter, whenever it's held, the sense of sorrow that seems to exude from it intensifies as the other gem gets closer to it. There's no mechanical effect here. And it's not you feeling sad. It's sadness being pushed out of the scepter to you.
Say we get to camp and get the hell out of this hole.
Aye.
What are we doing?
Well, I've got the light, and I'm halfway up the stairs already.
Wait for us, will you? Damn it.
Well, then come on. Use your legs or fly or whatever you're gonna do.
Yeah, I think we're headed out. We are
Yep, please.
done
So we-
with here.
Yeah, we get to camp. We pack it up. You know the way back. There's two ways back, it appears possibly. We're going the way we know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you want to think about that?
It's like, no, now I want to go up the.
No,
up the
let's go
barrel.
ride
Are
the
we-
bucket
I wanna
now.
ride the barrel.
Let's
we taking-
test fate again.
Are we taking a quarter day at our prepared camp just to
Rest up
just
a
to
little.
take it nice and easy, since we know there's at least a quarter day of marching out of here?
I'm not again it.
I'm
Or I mean,
Stella might be again it.
Yeah,
I'm
it's true.
pretty spent, man. Like I'm
okay.
like I don't know. I remember this one time we went hiking in the snow, and like there was like a heavy ice. There was like a little ice over the top, so like you had to like step hard through, and then like every time you pulled out, you like pulled and it was the most tired I've ever been. But
Yeah.
when we all got to camp, we all like at some point the group of guys I was with, we like just were sitting there staring off into nothing for a little
Yep.
while.
Yeah.
Like all of us did it.
Yep.
Mhm.
That's what Facilla does now. She just like we get to camp, and you like normally she like be doing making tea or doing something, and she doesn't. She just sits
Just over it all.
quiet, not humming to herself, not
Mhm.
not fidgeting, not like sits.
All right, so I'm going to take us to the second quarter day. Who's resting? Who's keeping watch?
I'm happy to keep watch.
Silva could use some rest.
Yeah. No, you rest. I'll keep watch.
Range fried.
And you get the bonus.
Yep. Come on. No, not 20.
20 it is.
Nobody's talking to each other. Sten just knows. He goes up the steps halfway, gets a good 10 feet above everybody. The three of you. I don't have Osric. Did Osric? There it is.
Yeah.
Three of you go to sleep. I asked you this before, but something's happened since the last time you were keeping watch, Sten.
So I don't
Love
think
to
Osric
know.
is sleeping. I
I'm
think
sorry?
he's resting. Just
Okay.
to put a point on it. He's in case it comes up later when he becomes sleepy, but I think
Got
he's
it.
just resting. He's
Yeah.
not helping keep watch, but he's not sleeping.
Understood.
I mean, there's a certain amount of relief just because I think we're finally going to get out of here for good. But probably as much time as he's spending watching the entrances to these rooms, and the different hallways and stuff, he's probably going to be keeping an eye on Vasi because he's never seen her this beaten down. And he's just a little worried. And also, he kind of wants to make sure Osric doesn't drift away in his sleep or anything. So he's just kind of keeping an eye on everybody, not just the potential enemies.
Third quarter day. I'm going to need Sten to sleep.
Okay. Are we just going to go ahead and
Yeah,
get out of here and
It's
then
up to you. Do you feel good enough to push through?
Yeah. So
Okay.
let's
Push through.
Remind me, because I've sort of lost my orientation. From where we were to where we are, is that on the way, or are we still have to go past the switch room?
You have to, it's it's right next to where you
You have
are.
to double back, but it's
No, not far. Like it's
but not far. Right.
No, if you took a stone from camp, you could hit the machine.
Okay. Before we leave, I would like to go turn off the machine by switching the switch back in the other direction.
Good thought.
And it shuts down. I'll need Sten and Osric sleepy, but I'm going to hand wave us.
Well,
to
it's
the
only
surface.
the third quarter of the day.
It's going to take 2 quarter days to get out of here.
Okay. All right. I'll allow it.
I am sleepy and have taken my wits damage for the day.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can carry
So-
the scepter again if you need me to.
I can carry it the first quarter, and if you want to trade off second
Oh,
quarter,
and if
that's
there's
fine.
any sort of stat problems from holding the other gem, you can.
There's no stat impact to holding the gem, the clasp.
Be nice.
Some other kind of bad thing.
It's some other terrible thing
Nope.
that we just haven't found yet.
Of course.
Correct.
Why wouldn't it be?
That is correct.
I want to cut to, my God, I get to do weather.
Oh no,
Weather exists out here.
it's raining.
I get to do weather. You finally find yourself stepping out past that huge broken gate. You see the ruins, long gone. city, dwarven city that was here at one point. Stormcloud greets you, Silva. It's a brand new day.
Osric takes a deep, deep breath of
Yes.
fresh
I think
air.
everyone does.
Well,
Happy to be free of this damn place.
we'll need a forge.
Yeah, I wonder if we should head back to the sisters and the dwarves. They may not have a forge, but they certainly have enough to manage some things and point us at civilization.
Yeah.
Mm.
Sisters it is.
And we have a sort of map, right?
Yes. We have an
Yeah.
old map that might or might not be correct.
Is that in the journal? Yes.
Yes.
So based on the map, we think there's a place that would be west of here, but the sisters would be north of here. Is that right?
Yes, the sisters are camped like kind of between where we are and the hollows.
Yeah, let me bring you to the map. Hold on a second.
The map, the map, the map.
So you have to kind of go around the mountains a little bit, but it's
Mhm.
basically to the north of you.
Right.
So I think that's where we should go. I think that
Yeah. Rather than risk
Rather than
an
risking
unknown thing
danger
which
place.
may be overrun with Rust Brothers or whatever else.
All right. Mr. Stranger Danger. That's fine.
I mean,
Are you saying that I am wrong?
I'm not. Did I say Mr. Wrong Stranger Danger? No, I did not.
Oh boy. All right, we got a lot to talk about. Let's go to credits.
Yeah.
Broken hearts embrace they came, a band of heroes bold. Stand the hunt of a silver, with tales of glory told. Osric with his mighty blade, Rustlight of demonic hue, and Silver half-elf merchant king. Their journey did ensue. Silver trades and secrets hold a smile upon her face, while Osric swings his fearsome sword in battle's fierce embrace. Through Raven's land they wander in search of ancient stones, to free the land from darkness where evil's a terror roams. With courage as their banner and hearts forever true, they seek the light within the night, their quest for me and you. Sten the hunter tracks the beast with arrows swift and sure. Vasila sings of battles past, her voice a magic cure. In ancient halls where echoes dwell, they found a mystic sign. The stones of elves a guiding light, within their hearts align. But Zaitera with eyes of fire, her wrath upon them fell. Yet undeterred they pressed ahead through fire, storm and spell.
All right, we're back. Woo!
Yes.
Who indeed?
I was afraid that if I actually had to actually follow the rules here, and I had to give her 2 slots, didn't know if I was setting you guys up for failure. And then I see
It was
Osric getting
pretty
sucked in. I was like, oh geez, what if he breaks in there? And then I don't know if you saw that, but if you break, you have D6 rounds, or you
Yeah.
Oh,
I
no.
saw that. I was like, oh no.
Oh, the dice could have just been awful. Dave, thoughts, stars, and wishes.
Well, I would just like to let everyone know, since you probably weren't looking at my sheet, that I was on 1 wits and got attacked by fear attacks 3 times in a row. That all guy got 0 damage. So
Coda says, or no, this is somebody from YouTube. Dono and YouTube says, "Are you going to need to change the lyrics to the song now because it
I
mentions
mean,
Rustbite?"
That's the
I don't
pouch.
know, Dono, but it's a good
Ugh.
question.
Gonna get fixed.
We can fix this.
We know a guy.
Oh, that's hilarious. A great name, by the way, Herald of the Old World.
Nice.
But yeah, it was really good. I felt like sufficiently paid off for all of our hard work and time in the mines. We learned a bunch. I was just accompanying you on. I feel like the mysteries deepened. Like we learned some stuff, but the mysteries deepened, which is cool. I feel like even losing Rustbite, or not losing Rustbite, but like having a chance to lose Rustbite, like kind of feels poetic for those mines to take one last chunk of blood from us.
Yeah.
So it was really good. I'm happy to be out. I'm happy we did it. It felt like a successful challenge to overcome, but it sure as heck was a challenge.
So I'm gonna, after we go through everybody's stars and wishes, I'm gonna ask a final question for all of you together. But star moment that really stood out for you, Dave. When was it working the best? The game,
I
the
think
session.
I think it was the mom's description that was
Gotcha.
the best. And like is she cool? Is she not cool? And then you're like, oh, not cool. Not
Not cool.
got it. Picked it up.
We got the answer to that question.
Not cool. Figured
She
it
thinks
out.
she's cool.
What are you wishing for, Dave?
I think
I feel like it's been a long time since this world has been open again.
yeah. I think I don't know. I think both Vassy and Dave don't know. I think it's like take a breather. Like go recoup, reforge the things that need reforging. Right, just like hopefully the Raven sisters are fine. And like you can breathe in and out for 3 days. That's fine.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, orcs probably. I don't know. Maybe the halflings.
Oh, thanks, Dono. How about you, Nate? Thoughts, stars, and wishes.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost surreal to be done with that. After everything,
I'd have to go back and look and see what was the episode where we first went in.
yeah. I mean,
I think it was at like late 30s, or no,
Mhm.
it was
No,
earlier
early.
than that.
It would have been around 30, I think.
Yeah, so it's been like 10 sessions that we have been going through this back and forth with the Stone Moon Mines.
ended one character here and have
Yeah.
gone through a whole arc with a second. It's just like this has been so much of this. But it's nice to be past it.
When was the session working for you?
Honestly, just the stakes of Osric getting pulled in made that moment like, oh no. Oh no. That was an oh fuck moment.
Yeah. What are you wishing for?
Other than I'm excited to see what the rest of the world now has to offer us, see what the next adventure site ends up being. But legitimately, I actually would like to see if the potential of going or getting Aldrich to do some repairs is a possibility.
Oh, that's an interesting idea. Going back to Oakenheart?
Yeah, I think that is a potential avenue.
Huh.
Interesting. Brian, thoughts, stars, and wishes.
Sure. Well, I mean, definitely there's a big sense of relief of being done with this place, and we got what we needed to do. I'm glad we got through everything. I feel like we went through every corner of that mine. Now I'm trying to figure out, because I mean,
we actually did.
Like there's literally nowhere else to go.
Well, we could have figured out the bucket.
We definitely
That's true.
We could've gone up the bucket, which
and we'll never know.
regret that we haven't now. But
No, Jim
Jim.
cannot handle that. Jim needs to know.
Jim can go back in by his own
Exactly.
self.
it's another one of those like we're never gonna go back here. So can I read the adventure site now?
Yeah. So, but I mean, generally, it was good. I feel like Sten has to do something, has to find something that will be able to deal with magic monsters because he can do pretty good damage against normal things, but this one damage a shot is not making him happy.
Yeah.
I have no idea what that would be, but
There's a
as far
big
as
combat advantage that is now not here anymore.
yeah, exactly. As far as stars go, I'm agreeing with Dave on a lot of stuff tonight. As icky as that makes me feel, I think your description of the mother worm was perfectly horrific in all the right ways. I mentioned in chat during the break that I was starting to feel bad about some of the body horror that might be coming up in Eternal Lies where you're playing, but now I feel like you've earned it. So
You owe me.
in the best way. And is yeah, obviously I want to get to a point of safety and just take a few moments to breathe and think about what we're doing next. I also really want to know what's up with the hair
Mm.
because
Yeah, it's weird.
I'm so glad we at least, moved it forward in some small way, because that was definitely a thing that was like that something's there, and you know, no pun intended. There's a string to pull there.
funny.
Jim.
So many star moments. I like even down to like things like Nate not using the stick because he doesn't want to, because Silva doesn't want to do that anymore, right? The whole of the, I'll save you, and the horror face screamy things. I also really enjoyed the moment where everybody was like, "Wait, is he Sir Tome?" That was
Yes.
it was such a
That was
silly
pretty
where I was
great.
like- where everybody's like, "I would like to roll dice to see if Jim's lying to me," and I'm like, "Why? What?
Did like that.
What are you talking about?"
Jim, have you been
no,
playing the long game since Amber's Peak?
Like, I'm most impressed, Jim.
Like, there's absolutely no way that Jim has been pulling this off this whole time.
Right.
But Craig made me believe it that it was possible
Yes.
by just having this kid go, it's him, and that was it. So that was really
Because there was
cool.
a player before you that had Osric, right? So it's quite
Right.
possible.
Right. This is Aloy's long game. Was that I'm in
Oh
fact
my
Sir
god,
Tome
it's an
all
arrangement I made
along.
with Aloy.
It's
Oh, that's
just
very
one big
funny.
giant heel turn.
Oh my god.
What are you wishing for, Oscar or Jim?
Besides a smith with a forge, uh, I'm also super curious about the hair wad and how that ties to the rest. I know it's just
The hair wad.
something, and it's like, but it being there means it has to mean something, and I know that in Forbidden Lands that's not even really necessarily true, but I feel like if it wasn't, we're gonna make it mean something, and I think that's a really interesting thing that's going to happen at some point in some way, right? Like even if this was a throwaway in whatever the written story is, it's going to mean something in our story because we're going to make it mean something. I'd like to know more about the gem that I have and what's going on with, now I can be the guy who gets to take flight and I'll fly across the gap now. I can totally do that.
Oh God. Now we
Uh,
don't know what the downside is yet, but I'm just saying there is a big advantage to being a flying archer.
Exactly, right. And also the interesting clarity of attention things would also probably be very good for an archer, and a cloak would be good to
But
hide.
it also might help that it would if there's somebody else who has a decent keep watch score in this party.
And, look, he's not allowed to have it. The last time we gave him a magic item, he broke it immediately.
Yeah, it's true.
Exactly.
Oh, God, I forgot about that.
So yeah, all sorts of things to find out what's going on, where the next one is, what's going on with orcs, new and interesting places that we haven't been before. So
that was Marigold. Like, what's her deal?
Yeah.
It's been a while since we've seen her or him or them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
What
right?
So there's it sounds like we're going to see the sisters.
Mhm.
Hopefully there's a blacksmith there.
Mhm.
Hopefully.
Talk of possibly going to Oakenheart. I hear talk of going east towards where these orcs were.
Maybe.
Mhm.
There was talk of a gem.
Mm-hmm.
Have
Yep,
no
the
idea
orcs did.
whether that's real or not. Trying to think what else you guys know. Talk of Hagler's
Hagler's
house
house. Yeah.
to the west.
I mean, Hagrid's
There
house
are
is
the
like
elves in the
scary.
Red Runners that we think may have a stone.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that seems to
That's
be tied to what's out east, right?
that's
Mhm.
what I see, is that the elves may have one and the orcs have or have had one.
Yeah, the orcs said they have one because that's why they killed what's his nuts.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, good news is we're back in 2 weeks. So we'll
Woo!
see everybody in 14 days. Thanks all.
Thanks for watching.
Howdy, friends. Thank you for watching. All our content is archived and organized in playlists on the Third Floor Wars YouTube channel. Check it out. And if you could like, follow, subscribe, and even set your notifications to this channel on YouTube and Twitch, we'd appreciate it, and it'll make sure that you catch all of our content. I talk with creators, designers, and experts across the gaming landscape in every episode of our podcast, Tabletop Talk. Open up your favorite podcatcher and search for Tabletop Talk from Third Floor Wars. Support your creators. They make the content you love, and it's your support that makes it happen. If you want to help us, go to Third Floor Wars on patreon.com, and you can help us for as little as $1 a month. Thanks again. We'll see you next time. Take care.